Hello and welcome to Our Ludicrous Future. This is the podcast that every once in a while we get together and talk about things that happen throughout the year. We are three old guys. We love each other and love our fans and our audiences, and we can't quit each other. So
Yeah.
I'm Joe Scott from the Answer to Joe podcast. With me is Spanish Ben Sullins.
Hola todos, ¿qué tal? Estoy aquí. I'm here, coming to you live in person from the future. I'm in the future from you guys now, and of course, we always have Down on Earth this time. For now,
Probably always.
the everyday ass. Probably always. Hey, it happened for Katy Perry. It can happen for you, Tim Dodd.
That was the key thing of the year, for sure. Yeah, hi, it's me, Tim Dodd, the everyday astronaut, and yeah, we this is hopefully a nice little Christmas holiday surprise for our friends and fans to. It's fun to be able to get together and catch back up and kind of look, I don't know, what we were excited about for the year. Hopefully not what we were dreaded by in the last year, right? Right, guys?
Oh, man. What a year.
Dread? I have not experienced any of that.
Well, what's new? What are you guys up to? What, Ben, you live in Spain now. You're Spanish.
Yeah. I in June departed the United States for a trip. Basically, we're calling it a family gap year. It's been something my family's been planning for a long time, which is why we've been learning Spanish for 10 years now, which is still not enough time for the record. You get here, I'm like, wait, what did you say? What are you saying? Like,
can I ask,
Spain,
is it like the stuff that you learn in the books or whatever through like the studying? Is it just wildly different from the casual vernacular or whatever?
Or is it just so fast that you can't like process it?
It's a little bit of both. Spain, if you don't know about the Spanish language, it is the same everywhere. So people will say, oh, it's completely different. No. It's the same language, but there are certain like conjugations and things that only exist in certain places and certain ways that people use words that are just very different. So Spain does have a specific conjugation that nowhere else in the world uses, but it's fine. It's really simple. It's not like that means you can't understand people at all or anything like that. The harder thing has been using the different words that we use here for stuff. So the translations, let's just say in Mexico, where the kind of Spanish I learned, if I wanted to ask for a coffee, right, I would say like, me puedes dar un café? I would say, can you give me a coffee? Right? Mm-hmm. Translation makes total sense. Here in Spain, that does work, but people will look at you a bit sideways and be like, I guess I can. Because it's almost like saying, do you have the ability to give me a coffee, right?
Right.
So here, and I don't know if it's because they're just more direct in how they speak, but you would say, me pones un café, por favor. Or me pones un café, por favor. And me pones would mean, can you put, like literally, can you put in front of me a coffee? Like put a coffee right here, right now, is kind of the translation. And it's just super weird to me. So the first few months of just like, oh, that's how you ask for something. Or, just like in English, how we cut words off or we say things like wanna, like I want to, but we just say wanna or kind of wanna, I kind of want to go. Things like that, where you're like, whoa, what did you just say? So a lot of those little things where there's, like
slang.
Yes, slang. Yeah, slang. But like the real word just cut short. Like botella de agua es un bote, right? It's bote, botella, things like that, right? Yeah. So there was a lot of that. So it's not like we didn't know anything. We certainly had a big advantage with having learned a lot, but just a lot of the words are so different, and so there's been a big adjustment. But 6 months in, no car. Living here, walking everywhere, taking public transit. The urbanists were 100% right. This is definitely, and I was thinking about it. I mean, it's a question for you guys. I mean, like walkability is one of the huge things here. And my Apple Health thing is like buzzing at me every day. Like, yo, are you okay? Oh, like you're doing too much. But back in the US, like we don't really have walkable cities like they do over here. Like almost all European cities I've been to are super, super walkable.
The closest thing has got to be like New York and like Boston, like
Boston. That's a good one. Yeah. But the thing is,
even that, then it's like you have to be in the city center.
Yeah, you have to be in downtown to be walkable.
Yeah. And like the thing that I've learned is, how they design cities over here, they did it before cars were invented, right? So I mean, we're talking hundreds and hundreds of years ago. So every corner or every street within a block or so, you have one of everything.
Yeah.
Like I could walk like 10 minutes and I'm going to pass 5 pharmacies
Right.
because every block has one, and I'll probably pass 3 or 4 grocery stores
Right.
because
And,
you need a grocery store right there, right? So
Yeah.
so every corner, or not every corner, but like every, little neighborhood has like a dozen of everything.
Yeah.
And it's unbelievable how convenient that is. Like, so it's just been a real eye-opening experience. Like, if you think about Europe, like, why would you want to live there? Well, for us, learning the language is a big one. Traveling around and seeing other parts of Europe is real easy. It's very affordable. The safety and security is really unbelievable. Like, there's no such thing as like gun violence out here. Things like that. Like, somebody can get maybe mad at you or something. So it's kind of laughable.
They
But
have
then,
mad attacks out there.
yeah, they'll shake their fist at you, kind of thing. And then I mean the public transportation and the convenience and all that is just it's going to be hard to go back. It's going to be hard to go back and think like, oh great, now I have to sit in the car for 30 minutes to eat a sandwich, to pay $15 for a Jersey Mike's sub or something.
Yeah. What city are you in again?
Madrid.
In Madrid. Okay.
Yeah, and we chose Madrid.
I always forget if it's Madrid or Barcelona.
Right. Those are the two. Barcelona,
okay.
yeah. Those are the 2 most popular by far. Barcelona, the deal for us, we have young kids that are in school, so they're in a Spanish school here. And in Barcelona, the kids in school, the primary language is Catalan. So Spanish, they of course speak Spanish and they learn Spanish, but they also learn Catalan, and that's like a big primary thing. And we're like, well, yeah, that's not helpful.
Right.
Is that a dialect of Spanish or a totally different language?
I mean, I guess it's probably similar to Spanish. It's a different language for sure. It's not like you use a slightly different pronunciations of things. Like, I don't know, someone can correct me, but I'm guessing Italian and Spanish are more closely related than Catalan is. I don't know why, because it was all part of the Roman Empire at one point. So I'm sure it's Latin based. Anyways, yeah. So we chose Madrid because, first off, in Spain itself is just incredible. It's so affordable here. Everyone is so nice. The food, all the things you think of when you think of Spain are true. But also in terms of traveling around Europe and traveling around Spain itself, Madrid is at the center. Like geographically, if you look at the map, it's literally right in the center, which means if you want to go anywhere, it's a train ride away. I can be at the beach in 2 hours by train. No problem. And I can fly to London in an hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever. So we chose. Now Barcelona also has a lot of that convenience too, but like if you wanted to go from Barcelona to say down to Malaga, which is like another beach town down in the south, you'd have to first take it by train. You'd have to first take a train to Madrid and then take a train from Madrid down. So the whole system of transportation is geared around Madrid being the center of it. And we came here 11-ish years ago when we first visited and fell in love with Madrid specifically. So yeah, so that's why we ended up here.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Here, Joe and I are homebodies. That's crazy, man. It seems really fun. I love Europe and I love traveling, and I've
I'm
had
more
friends.
homebody than you, because at least you come down to Texas for launches and stuff, and I'm just sitting here in my pajamas basically.
That's a pretty good life though, too. Really.
I don't know. I was wondering if I'd be able to hold a conversation. I'm like, I talked to my freaking volleyball over here. It's and my dogs.
Wilson. I will say one last bit. I did the math on it, and not having a car, at least living in a city like this, is about 1/3 the cost of owning a car. So I calculated like how many Ubers we've taken, even renting cars. We went on 2 road trips where we rented cars. Even renting cars and all that is just dramatically cheaper. So a lot of people here, well, it's funny, a lot of Spaniards do have cars and they just barely ever use them.
Yeah.
So, but the cost
my
of it,
friends in Europe, like pretty much all of them have a car, like and maybe for like their whole even extended family. Like,
yeah,
I know people that share a car between like 3 households,
Yeah.
And it's like if you need it for a road trip or something, sure, just come over and grab it,
Totally. Yeah, that's totally it. I mean, and I wouldn't buy a nice car. The other day, man, I wish I could post it on here. I had a photo of a Porsche Taycan Turbo S, so the highest end one, just parked like on a normal street here in Madrid, but like had to come up on the curb and be all like sideways and wrong, so that way people didn't hit him going by. I'm like, you just parked like a 200,000 euro car. Like, this is insane, dude.
And
Just
the streets are so narrow in general, like a
Yeah.
wide like Porsche, just
Yeah.
ooey.
And I would say though that if anyone listening has been to Madrid, there is like the city center where like tourist stuff is and where you go, and where the roads are barely even wide enough for a car because they're so old.
Yeah.
I live in still very much city center, but like it's much wider. There are cars everywhere here.
Okay.
So, you know, I mean, it's still
outside of like the old
exactly. Yeah. We're not in like the old ancient town type stuff that's still there. We're a bit outside of that, but it's more, but it's not like suburban at all. I mean, yeah,
Right.
literally. I mean, it's still very city, which is awesome.
Like the city that I visited one of the last times I was in Europe was Lucca in Italy, where it's like an old fortress city, you know, where like there's like a wall around the whole, like a big berm around the whole thing. So the core of the town is like, or the city is like in between this like fortress, and the streets, because of that, you know, that hasn't been touched for 800 years or whatever.
Yeah.
Very not designed for cars, you know, and it's one of my favorite cities because of that, you know, because it's just like you walk around the whole thing. It's just like a giant pedestrian mecca, you know, and it's so cool. I love that.
Yeah.
Stuff.
There's a lot of those. We went to a good day trip from Madrid is Segovia, where they have this ancient Roman aqueduct that was still being used to bring water to the town until like the 1970s.
Yeah.
Like until very recently.
Wow.
And it's like 2,000 years old or something crazy.
With aqueducts, how did people not just like pee in the water and stuff, and like birds poop in the water? Like
that's an American thing.
We invented
like
that.
I'm sure they would process it, right?
I have no idea, man. It's amazing.
Yeah, I'm sure they would have to clean it in some way.
But there's a town near there called Avila, which is famous for their steak, and so we went there as well. And I swear to God, it looks like not Shrek's castle, but like you know, Lord, God, what was his name? Whoever the king was.
Farquaad, yeah.
Farquaad, yeah. It looked like. Because it's like that. It's a medieval town essentially, and so the outside is literally castles with like these big grass rolling hills. I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah. And they're just like another castle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you go inside of it, and it's like you're saying, Tim, where you're like, oh, okay, yeah. There's like, this is hard to navigate. This is not like, what am I doing in here? Let me get out of here. Like, you know.
Oh, I love it.
But it's so cool. Yeah. The medieval stuff is interesting.
I'd like to know if you've noticed, what's your anxiety level happened? Like, what's happened to your anxiety level since moving to Madrid? Like, I mean, we're talking about the walkable cities and the communal kind of stuff. Like, do you feel like you're more part of a community? I mean, I'm sure you're still kind of getting your feet under you in terms of like,
sure.
Yeah, have you made like friends and stuff? Like, I know that sounds weird, but like,
yeah, but I mean, like, I feel like I hear a lot of Europeans that come over here, and it's partly the highways and all that kind of stuff, but also the media and just everybody's anxious all the time, and then you know, they go back home and it's like, oh my God, this is so much better. And I don't know, I was just curious.
Does that translate? Yeah, does that transfer over?
Yeah.
You know,
expats?
The weird thing. I have a perfect example of So we're sort of like on a different planet right now. And I say that because like we're not tuned into anything going on back in the U.S. Like it doesn't come up in conversation. I don't have social media. I don't see anything of it. All I see right now are like cocktail videos and things like that. So so we're like completely oblivious to anything. Like I heard there was a government shutdown, I guess, for a little while. I really have no idea. So that's nice. That's nice to just be sort of oblivious. And then on the flip side, I'm not Spanish. So there is a lot of drama and things happening here in Europe and here in Spain.
Specifically Spain with like, immigration and stuff, right?
I barely know who the prime minister is. I don't even know what his political part, like I don't know any of those things. I'm just like, well, I guess I could study that. But I do have quite a few Spanish friends, and some of them are English speaking. Most of them are only Spanish speaking. So we just only speak in Spanish, and it's mostly through the school, right? So this is how we're connected. It's like, you know, we have a thing called Club de Padres, which is like after I drop my kids off at school, which is a 5-minute walk, which is unbelievable. We walk over to the cafe and just have a coffee and a little pastry or whatever, and just whatever, talk about life. What are you doing? They're all super fascinated that like I make videos for a living and they have to like, go to a real job and things like that. So they're all like, it's really cool. But yeah, so in all of my conversations with them, none of that ever comes up. And the reason I know I'm less stressed here is because we went to London for a few days to visit some friends and to go, see the things. And that was actually really cool. It was really weird. I almost had like reverse culture shock because we're in London and I can read the signs, but I'm also a bit confused by them. I'm like, what are you trying to say with that? Like, do I go this way? I don't know. So it was kind of weird.
What?
Yeah.
You mind
and
your cat.
and their metro, I mean, it's prevalent, it's substantial, the metro in London, but holy hell, it's confusing. Whereas like
It is pretty confusing.
Real tiny difference there. Here in Madrid, anyway, the metro, you get on it like if you go down to a platform, whatever platform you're on, the only train coming is that train for that platform. Whereas like in London, you go down and you're like, well, is this the underground or the overground? Where is this train headed?
The E train?
Yeah, and you're like, because it's so we don't have that here. So
and it also sounds like it's like, and you're going to Floofenland, and then we're going to pop over to Minister's Defense of the Gerrymander or whatever. You're like, what is all this stuff?
We're going to go to Coxwolds, and then we're going to come back. Whatever.
I'm trying to think like there's ones that, like Paddington, just the classic, like, I don't know.
Yeah. So anyways, so we're there for a few days and it's cool. It was actually really cool to see the stuff because I'd never really spent time in London. Like I've been to London, but it was always like a work event or just traveling, never like be a tourist. So we have some friends there and they took us around and it was cool. But after a day or so, I was like, I need to go back. I can't handle this. This is too much stress. Like lunch, we're just going to pop into, I forget what it's even called, but it's like a Starbucks basically and grab like a little sandwich and we're going to leave. I'm like, no. I need like at least an hour and a half, 2 hours to sit down and eat lunch. What is wrong with you people? Like I have fully embraced that Spanish rhythm of life.
Oh yeah. You sent me a picture of Thanksgiving dinner at midnight.
Yes.
Dang.
Yes. So we've made quite a few expat friends. And those friends in particular, they've actually lived here in Madrid for 17, 18 years. So they're locals at this point. And so they invited us over for Thanksgiving dinner and we made a turkey. Like we did the typical thing, which was hilarious to the non-Spaniard friends who came over as well to just enjoy. We had one Italian guy too. He was like, this is the most wild thing I've ever been to. He's like, because we had a turkey that was 15 kilos. It was like 30 something pounds.
Oh my God.
It was like ginormous.
That's a dinosaur.
Dude, it was that's why we ate so late. Yeah. But we ended up actually sitting down to eat Thanksgiving dinner at like 12:30 in the morning. I mean, that's how long. And at that point, I mean, we had been partying since like 9. So yeah. So things happen much later here. But here's a fun fact as to one reason why they are later here is the time zone in Spain is false. It's not correct. And I learned this actually through a Hank Green video about time zones, of course. It was amazing. But Franco, their dictator here, wanted to align himself more closely with Hitler in World War II. And they had just come off a civil war. Otherwise, they would have certainly joined the Nazis and whatever for, that whole thing for World War II. But they couldn't. They had no resources. They had no people. They had no nothing. They had just finished a civil war literally just before that. So but anyways, they changed the time zone to match Germany's time zone. So if you actually fly directly north from here, you hit the UK, which is an hour behind us. Right. So if I'm going out to eat dinner at 10 p.m., really it's 9 p.m. Like it's still late for sure, but it's also artificially late,
Okay.
Yeah, but we've fully...
So the sun sets an hour earlier and sun rises an hour earlier for you there.
Later, no?
No, it becomes darker, like
earlier.
It would become, it'd be dark at like 4 or 5, right?
Correct. Currently, the sun goes down right now at 5:50 p.m. and it comes out at like it's winter, so the sun comes up right now at like 8:50 a.m. So if you think about that, like because we're at the higher, what is that, latitude, or longitude, whatever it is, like things are all happening later already. And then also we have this extra added hour of whatever. So there's kind of like this weird thing going on with the culture here. But even compared to other cultures, Spain does everything late. Like lunch really doesn't happen until 3 p.m. like that's lunch, you know.
Wow.
But they do eat 5 times
Yeah.
a day. So,
But I think most other cultures eat later than us anyway over here in the States. Like we had our exchange student from Tunisia, and that was something she really struggled to get used to, because like we would go eat at like 6 o'clock or something. We're like, do you want to go eat? She's like, no, I'm not hungry. But then like 10, she suddenly wants to eat something. It's like, dude, all the restaurants are closed.
yeah.
You're just gonna have to adapt to this.
We used to have that. We used to have restaurants open past like 9, but not anymore.
We used to be a proper country.
Hey, should we?
Pizza Huts.
I know that everyone's excited about our ludicrous Spain edition, but should we start talking about some crazy things that happened last? By the way, I was trying to figure out what latitude you're at, but I couldn't find it because when I drop a pin in Google Maps, it doesn't work. Anyway, our ludicrous past year 2025 edition. What types of things were you guys stood out to you as like pretty awesome? Let's Joe. What about you? What was something that happened in the last year that you're like, yeah?
Oh my god. Me personally, or like just in general?
In the world of excitable things, tech.
Well, not to dip into your territory, I was actually happy to see New Glenn go up. So the first time it went up, was that last year? Was that actually last year?
No, it was this year. So it's
early this year.
Twice
Okay,
this year.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. I don't know. It made me want to eat honeycomb cereal watching the engines on that light up.
Oh,
it does literally look.
It looks like
that,
honeycomb cereal to me, and I was just like, man, I want some of those.
I haven't thought about that in a long time.
I don't know. Like, I made jokes for a long time at the expense of Blue Origin, saying if you're going to call yourself a space company, you have to eventually put something into space, and they eventually put something into space. So, I'm giving them credit for that.
Absolutely, it's been really cool because like, you know, I toured with there like a year and a half ago now. You know, like last I don't know, May or June or whenever that was in 2024. And like, you know, I've kind of seen this stuff coming, and it's the exact opposite approach of SpaceX. Like instead of like being all flashy and telling everyone what you're working on and all this stuff, and you know, kind of the famous like we do the impossible, and we take the impossible and make it late. Instead, like they're just kind of like, what are they even working on? You know?
Yeah.
But it's been fun then to see it launch so successfully, and then the second launch when they landed, and it's just like this beautiful mission, like just end to end flawless. It's like, okay, and then it comes back into port and it's like spotless too. It like looks brand new. It looks, you know, because you know the Falcon 9 gets so dirty and stuff, the soot from RP1, and this New Glenn just landed and it looked like it hadn't even flown. Like it's just spotless.
Because methane's just that much cleaner, I guess, or
methane, and you know, I think they were flying a pretty like not very aggressive trajectory too for this particular launch, and so it just had a lot of margin, I think. So it really, you know, just looked like it didn't even fly. It was crazy, which is exciting.
Is that the same as Starship?
Correct. Yep. Technically, they call it. I think they actually call it. They actually go with natural gas, which is methane is mostly natural gas. They just don't purify it as much as methane. But I think it's still pretty much like the same thing. They just decided to call
I still don't understand how they call things renewable natural gas. Like first off, natural gas, excellent marketing. Whoever won that debate, great. Good for you. You totally nailed, you know, because natural gas, natural. I mean, you know.
Well, it's renewable if you just shove a bunch of dinosaurs back in the ground and wait a couple million years. I mean, I don't know.
Well, because like cows burp, like it's natural. It's, you know, we just fed the cows, right? I mean, where does methane come from? You know,
definitely comes from cows.
Yeah, I mean,
but that's what I mean. I always thought that was funny. I'm like, how is it renewable? Like where you're creating it from something.
This?
You can, I mean, you can do like the Sabatier process and create methane out of the atmosphere, but it's very power intense. No, we're not doing that. It's very
that's what I mean.
Intense. Yeah, I agree though, Joe. New Glenn was awesome. That was.
I was happy to see that happen. Yeah.
Yep, and hopefully next year.
The thing with the bolts.
Yeah.
On the landing platform.
Wasn't that cool? So
I don't fully understand it. Could you explain it?
Basically, it has like pyrotechnic bolts that like secure itself to the deck. I thought it was an arc
Oh.
welder that's, you know, like did like a spot weld on each of the legs, but it has 6 landing legs, and each of them has a pyrotechnic bolt that shoves itself down into the landing platform.
Okay, so that's in the leg.
It's in the foot.
Then the
Yep.
okay.
Yep, at the end of the foot basically, and then just so as after it landed, all of a sudden you see like you saw like 6 like
Yeah.
mini explosions on the tips,
Yeah.
and you're like, what was that? You know, and that was just to initially secure it. I think then they have a robot that goes out and starts, you know, safing it and all these things, kind of a Roomba situation similar to what SpaceX does. And I don't know if that also secured it to the deck more, or if those like pyrotechnic bolt things were good enough. But that was cool. I was like, okay, that's fun.
And that was to a ship in the ocean?
Yep, similar. They actually used to have, like, they were originally going to do like this big long like old cargo style ship, you know, and they're supposed to land on it while it was moving, even was the original plan, because they actually said it'd be more stable that way. But I was always like, that seems hard.
Versus like just kind of floating and
Yeah,
with it.
I guess. But then they literally ended up building a barge almost identical to what SpaceX is like literally, I think the same company and everything. Which
If it works,
yeah, nothing wrong with that. I've always thought that's silly to, you know, totally try to like, definitely don't do it just to be different. You know, like don't choose a different option just so you're like, oh, we don't want to look like we're. It's like, no, do what works. Like, period. People aren't
let
like
me reinvent the
reinventing
door
runways.
handles on your car. Let me reinvent those door handles for you. Like, door handles are fine. They work fine.
or imagine if like Boeing and Airbus had different runways. Like, well, we can't have ours be the same, so ours is going to be U-shaped, so it's easy to stop into, you know, or whatever. Like, that's the But
land on an incline.
a decline would be but for me that was a really big one. I agree. And did you guys see also, so we've had a lot of space stuff that was really exciting, because we had that at the beginning of the year. We also had Firefly's Blue Ghost land on the moon, the first commercial, you know, small scale lunar lander successfully touched down on the moon. First commercial entity, did it for like 1/10 the cost of you know, like any other lander ever. So that's really cool. Really great images came from that too.
Yeah, I'm looking at their website now. I just see this, like, it looks like it's underwater. There's like this green weird thing happening. Is that the actual moon? I need to find better photos of it.
I might have to.
It landed in the moon's ocean.
I mean, let me share my screen. This is
please.
Oh, geez, how do I do that? Share screen. Oh God.
I am very curious what you're seeing that's
Window?
green.
Esto?
Blue Ghost. Hang on, I'm trying to look.
Maybe this is like they did this on their like, why is this green or blue?
Oh, that's like
turquoise?
a lens flare, it looks like.
Oh, okay. But doesn't it look like it's like underwater?
Yeah. I don't know.
It's not a great picture. Why would they use
Yeah,
that?
why is like is that the first image they got back, maybe? Like right when it touched down, so that to them is like a
I don't know, but you're like, great images, and I'm like, it looks like a crumpled up something. Just like the
rubbish.
This is the whatever, the submarine that imploded. That's actually what this is.
Titan sub.
It imploded so hard it landed on the moon.
Impressive.
No, that was a really, really cool mission. And it's funny because like there's this trend right now of like all these lunar landers being tall and skinny, and it's completely arbitrary that like I don't think there's a correlation between the fact that this one actually landed and it was like low and stout, you know, compared to the other ones. But like I can't help but think maybe not being super tall and skinny was beneficial, maybe. But then again, also the other ones had things like their engines continued to run even after it landed. So I don't care how tall or how wide it is, like it's not gonna work well.
There you go. Yeah, that's the first image on the moon, it says.
Got it. Okay, so it just happened.
But here's like some other ones.
Oh, those are cool.
This is it, like on its way. Oh, a flyby. Yeah, it probably had to like float around for a little bit before it landed, right, to find the right spot or whatever.
It's in orbit, you know. So you're gonna go from lunar orbit. You don't go direct descent. So you'll be in lunar orbit, and then from lunar orbit, you start slowing down, and that lowers your trajectory to you know meet up with the ground. And so, yeah, that's how that worked. They actually launched on a Falcon 9 for this one too. So the whole mission, if I remember right, was about a little over 200 million, which is very cheap for a lunar lander.
Didn't it have to do some like some gravity assist flyby kind of things to get over there because they didn't just do a direct lunar injection? Am I wrong about that?
I'm getting confused. Yeah, a lot of them have been doing a more efficient one where you either do like really slow apogee raises, like literally burn by burn by burn, and it's like many orbits. I think Blue Moon did that as well.
Blue Ghost?
I'm trying to remember, or Blue Ghost, sorry. God, this is gonna be the worst. And then a lot of them too are doing where you go out basically to a Lagrange point and then you like fall back towards the moon, and it's ever slow. Like it's more efficient, but it takes like months.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, I played this on Atari. I know how it works. You know.
Exactly. But yeah, that was definitely like one of the more exciting missions to me this year too. Is just like seeing, and this is part of the CLPS program, the Commercial Lunar Payload Services program. Hey.
She's gotten into the habit of wanting in my lap whenever I'm recording stuff.
Well,
course.
that's wonderful.
So she's just sitting down there just pawing at me.
Yeah, please. Yeah, the CLPS program, you know, that's what this is basically trying to do is make it so these commercial providers can land on the moon and provide services and get instruments on the moon for way cheaper than doing like a 1-off or 2-off or 3-off like government program that's traditional. This is a commercial service where it's flat rate. And this is the first time it's been successful, and hopefully not the last, because we have intuitive machines. We have, who is the one that was Methylox? That is intuitive machines. There's a whole bunch of them. I can't remember any of them right now off the top of my head, of course. But
have you heard of one called Lunar Outpost?
Yes, I've heard of those guys. Yep.
Okay, so I was my wife does a book club in our neighborhood, and one of the an older gentleman in our book club was talking about his grandkid working at Lunar Outpost, and he's like working on the drill that's going to like drill for ice.
Oh wow!
When it lands there and stuff.
Oh heck yeah, that's awesome.
I hadn't heard of Lunar Outpost at the time.
Ice on the moon or ice on an asteroid?
On the moon.
On the moon. Yeah. Specifically the South Pole region. Is like that's one of the reasons we're targeting that for the Artemis program, is to be able to land where there is ice resources, because you can use that for a lot of stuff. It's a very valuable resource in space. Yeah.
Watch out for those South Pole elves. They'll get you.
Or abominable snowmen. Especially if you're trying to ski. Anyway,
I've been wanting to tell you, Tim, the Thanksgiving dinner conversation that I had. Like, I don't know if other people's Thanksgiving dinners were descending into politics necessarily, but mine descended into moon landing denial.
Oh my God.
Oh.
And I had to. And it's funny because there was one person that was like, "Oh, it's not real," and everybody else was just kind of sitting there like, "I don't know what to say," and they're looking at me, and I'm like, "I guess I'll handle this." So that's yeah.
I mean,
and I haven't sent her your video, the moon landing debunking video that you did, which is fantastic.
Thank you.
I'm trying to take a side route and just kind of get her interested in space in general.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, once you learn more about this, you'll see how crazy this whole conspiracy is,
Right.
So I'm trying to take the soft approach, but
that's the thing, that the conspiracies are always just like, when they're shrouded in questions, like why did this happen? It's like, have you looked? Have you like tried to understand this? And some of those questions are sincere, and I've met people that those questions are sincere.
Yeah, it's sincere. Yeah.
And you answer them, and they're like, oh, that's actually really interesting. They had no idea,
Right.
And that's definitely the approach I took with that video, is like, let's assume people have honest questions, and let's give them the breakdown that they deserve, because all it takes is one or two of those, questions unanswered to then spin up this whole idea that, like, well, I don't understand this. So
yeah, there's so many things that people don't know. Like, watching your video, Tim, it was excellent. And it was one thing I didn't realize, was it the shot whenever they got it of it taking off from the moon, and somehow they got that shot. I didn't realize that was like the third or fourth time. The third try. Like there were previous attempts that failed.
Mm-hmm.
And of course you don't see those ones.
No.
But had you seen them, to be like, well, how'd they get that shot? Well, actually it took them 3 damn tries. It wasn't just obviously perfect on the first go, where it was like, that's a little bit like, but if you zoom out a little bit, I never really, I never was a whatever moon landing denier, but I did understand people's skepticism because of how insane it was.
Mhm.
Right.
I mean, especially in that era.
And,
And to
yeah.
think
Mhm.
now we're 50 whatever years past and we
Yeah.
still have it like it's like what the hell happened, you know?
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
you
that
think
was one
we'd
of
be
the
having
things that
lunch.
sorry, but,
Yeah.
that was one of the things that she was bringing up at the Thanksgiving table. Was like, why haven't we been back?
Right.
And I
We
tried to flip
have.
it around, and I was like, why
Yeah.
would we go back?
Mhm.
The whole thing was a space race. We won it.
Yeah.
We were in the
And
middle of the Vietnam War. Why would we go back?
and like I always tell people when they ask that, there's kind of a few is like one, we're trying to do it now at like 1/10 the cost and about
Yeah.
10 times the capacity. So we're doing it basically like 1% of like, it's 1% like, or it's 100 times better, I guess, by that metric,
Mhm.
Yeah.
than it was during the Apollo program. And that's obviously extremely difficult. But the other one is like, there's a lot of technologies that made sense in the 60s and 70s, like the Concorde, that don't make sense
Yeah,
now.
yeah, that's a
Like
good
we
argument.
lost that technology too. Lost
Yeah.
it, like we didn't lose it. It
Well,
just economically
that's
didn't
coming
make sense.
back.
So it is coming back with Boom, baby. Let's go.
Yeah.
Boom!
Let's
Yeah.
go. Let's talk about Boom. I also just got swag from them the other day, so I'm
Oh, yeah?
also
That's cool.
yeah. I'm a big fan of Boom. Boom's like really exciting to me. So
Yeah,
I
it's kind of wild.
mostly because I want to fly. That's one of my, like when I was a kid, I always wanted to fly on the Concorde, and if I could fly on a supersonic jetliner, especially like across the U.S. over land, like I will fly on that once a year just to treat myself.
I was gonna say we gotta hop on the first Boom and fly over to Europe and do a Madrid version
Hey.
of this.
Well,
That'd be awesome.
The thing that's cool is they've pre-sold jets already to like Japan Airlines and United, and I think maybe not American, but like I think they've sold like 100 jets, which is already like more than the
Wow.
entire Concorde program period. So like
Wow.
as long as they can scale this thing up and start producing these. And have you seen
That'll
their
take
pivot? Have you seen
a
what
decade.
they did?
Yeah, so the idea is like instead of the sonic boom just going straight down and making a sound, they like bounce it off the air somehow or something. I just remember
So-
seeing what's her name, Cleo something.
Cleo
And she has like
Abrams?
yeah, she did a video about it, and I was like, wow, that's amazing. Like
I haven't seen that, but basically, yeah, they are flying in a way in the right, like predicting where they're flying through. Basically, the perfect air conditions. That makes sense. Like
Fly through the air conditioning, Don.
but basically, if there's a certain area, like layer, where the sound reflects more off the lower atmosphere than it does normally or whatever. If you kind of stay in the certain region, you can fly super. And there's other things you can do to the jet to make it reduce sonic boom noise. And so I think they've just been factoring all that stuff in and found a way to fly supersonic without. And this has kind of been studied. NASA's been working on this too. Like, it's definitely a thing that people have wanted to do for a while, and it's just one of those like, why don't they just,
Well, and then the net of it is like you can fly where from LA to New York in how long? Like 3 hours, 2 hours, or something?
like 3, I think. It's
Yeah,
not,
and right
it's
now
not
it's
quite
like 6.
Yeah, it's not quite twice as fast. They're gonna fly a little slower than the Concorde, which was Mach 2.
Mhm.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a little bit slower than that. I think they're trying to find that balance between supersonic speed, but also not like at some point you're just wasting fuel a lot.
Yeah.
Like that goes up
Exponentially.
exponentially compared to your speed.
Who did that video talking about commercial airline? Was it a Mark Rober one or something where they were doing 15% of the pressure or something in the, so that's why you like if your like legs swell or something like that after you fly for a long time, it's because it's not fully pressurized to like 1 atmosphere or whatever.
Mhm.
Right? It's less. And like why wouldn't you do that? It all, of course, comes down to money. And because it's like they some really smart people calculated exactly how much it was going to cost, and that was kind of the net of it was, if you have this much pressurization versus this, so yeah, I'm not surprised that
Even
they're going to fly. There's going to be an economic part of that equation.
Even for pressure, it's like literally like the windows and like the seals around the windows and the structure of the plane. The higher the pressure inside the plane, the greater the differential to outside, because you're flying in a thin atmosphere.
Mhm.
So like
Right.
that's one of those things is like the less pressure differential you're dealing with, and the pressure offset, the less you have to like engineer the vehicle to be a submarine or like a spacecraft, you know. And so
and that's why your ears pop.
Yep, that is. I feel like it doesn't happen as much anymore, though. I feel like they do it so slowly or gradually that I don't really ever notice my ears popping as much as like when I was a kid. I feel like I would like.
You're flying on that Concorde first class, bro. You need to get on some Ryanair flights. You will feel that for sure.
I think you're getting older and your eardrums stiffening.
Yeah, it just doesn't pop anymore. It's like
your telomeres are. I mean, speaking of Mark Rober, though, you did a thing with him this year.
I got to tell you guys the thing that they're doing, though, besides the sonic boom part, is they announced like last week that they're taking their turbines. So like the part, you know, the part of the jet engine, basically the part that powers the jet engine, and then that spins the, you know, the turbine and the compressor assemblies spin the fans at the front. Yeah. And they're basically taking that, like as they're manufacturing this and building it up, they realize like, hey, we actually have like a 40 megawatt generator here. Oh. So like, what if while we're scaling this up and as we're engineering this plane to fund the plane, what if we just sell these as generators? Specifically like for like quick deployment and places where the grid's being taxed, like data centers and other places where you kind of need like a peak or power plant. You know, a turbine like that can actually be extremely efficient and like literally $1 per kilowatt, like almost as cheap as being on the grid, and can alleviate some of those, you know, big grid
spikes.
So that's actually like what they're rolling out. Their first product will actually be like this generator called Superpower, and like it's pretty wild that
that sounds cool.
I thought that was a pretty smart move because like at the end of the day, like you need to building a plane's expensive, like really expensive, and as long as you're not losing track of that, if like I think the Venn diagram's thick enough that like developing this doesn't take away from the plane part too much. It really just helps fund the jet. As long as that's true, then I'm a big supporter of it. Whatever it takes to get, you know, their Overture flying.
There's been a lot of companies like that, you know, like Slack came out of guys trying to make a video game, didn't work. Flickr, the photo sharing site, those same guys were also trying to build a game and sucked at it. I swear to God, it's the craziest story.
The same guys as Slack made, and they're trying to make games both times.
Yes.
Fail.
Is it? I think it's Stuart Butterfield. I think is the guy
failed successfully. It's like the ultimate.
Yeah. It's a crazy story, but yeah, basically, so that you know tends to happen. You know, where you're like, hey, we made this other really awesome thing as a part of this. Maybe we should, like, you know, just give a few people a go at that one and see if they can do something with it. You know,
they're gonna try and make another game and come up with Skynet.
Yeah, too late.
Yeah, we've already got Skynet.
Yeah, we already got Skynet.
We certainly do.
Ben, you were segueing to working with Dr. Marcus Rober.
Yeah, I saw your video launching the space selfie thing. How was that, dude? I mean, that looked awesome. You did a great job, and yeah, it was super.
It was really fun for me, honestly. Just I thought it was cool to like work with you know, Mark's a literally top tier. He's like one of the top 10 channels or something, like or top like I don't know, top 20 or something, like huge mega channels. So to be around him and his team and kind of see how they what their workflow's like, what their ethos is, you know, how does he treat the people he's around, you know, what's that all like was just really fascinating to me. And, you know, I'll report back that he was just as friendly and personable in real life and that, you know, than he is on camera. And I think the only real difference between his camera personality and him in real life was he's a little more like business, you know, like not business, but like he's pretty focused, you know, like even off camera, he was like still on, like, you know, trying to make sure the whole day is, you know, thinking about all that stuff. And it was impressive, like work ethic as far as like that goes, because you could just tell he's like, well, and he was really stressed. This has to be one of the most expensive YouTube videos ever. He built a satellite and launched it on a Falcon 9.
Yeah.
I mean, now it was a ride share. He didn't purchase the entire Falcon 9, obviously.
Right.
But it still had to have been multi-millions of dollars, you know, like huge deal. And for him to reach, I know, you know, some of the spaceflight audience might think that's so stupid and like, who cares about, why would selfies that matter? But when you're there and there's hundreds of kids in person that you're seeing the direct impact on their faces during a rocket launch, that know they're going to have their photograph taken of themselves in space, like that was really cool. And that was really impactful. That real quick? Yeah. So SatGus, his satellite that he built, basically had like, it was cool because it was actually like dual deploy. So it had like a redundant system, but it basically had a monitor and a camera. And you would upload your picture and it would show up on the monitor, and then they would take a picture of it in space.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And
so it was like your picture with like the Earth behind it or something.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, okay.
And but what's really cool, the magic sauce to it that I thought was awesome, is they would also, you could do it so it would let you know when it's flying over your house. And it'd give you like a heads up, hey, we're going to do this. And they'll take your picture. So think about like logistically what that takes like for planning. They would take your picture as it's overflying your house, and it would notify you that, hey, we're about to pass over you. Go outside and wave, you know, is kind of the fun thing. And like just getting kids to think about this kind of stuff and the engineering behind it, what it takes to do this, and then realize like I could literally build a satellite, you know, like to me, that's really cool. And, you know, I think like, I think, you know, some of the, like I said, some of the hardened people might be like, whoa, you know, grumble. What's the point of this? But when you see,
it's inspiration.
You know, it's hope. Really, I mean, it was awesome.
If you want the next generation to be excited about it, these are the things that will get them excited, you know?
Yes, exactly.
I mean, like I remember, you know, I mean, fast forward to when I really cared about what Elon Musk was doing on the internet. He went on Joe Rogan and like was smoking weed and stuff like that. And my criticism was like, dude, there is a whole generation looking up to you as this like hero of like science and stuff. And not to say this is like doing that, but like now you're sort of tarnishing that image. Obviously he doesn't give a shit, but it was one of those things where I was like, you know, I think it's important that the next generation be inspired, you know? And so I think a project like that, I mean, how could you poop on that? I mean, it's awesome.
I mean, going back to Apollo, that was like one of the biggest things that contributed to society was like the number of people who went into those fields skyrocketed. Sorry, but yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And it was interesting for me, like on that topic of, you know, exactly what you were just talking about, Ben, is like when that happened, like I shot this video with him in January, and then I think in like February, he released that video about the LiDAR thing and Tesla not using like FSD, but using like autopilot. And it was like in a partnership with a LiDAR company, and people got really mad at him for that.
Yeah.
And mostly, you know, like Elon stands, you know, like got really mad about it. And so then when this video came out in March that I was a part of, people got so mad at me for working with like that sellout. Yeah. Like I was getting canceled left and right, like by people being like, I used to appreciate you, Tim, but this is working with him is a new low. And like, what are you talking about?
You
like,
can never be pure enough.
A, I didn't know anything about that. B, I don't care. C, like, look at what I did and what this is like. People,
the internet's a weird
place.
Start
the rant clock.
Yeah, I remember
50 minutes. That's impressive,
dude. That's so bizarre.
You know what? Honestly, that's kind of why. There's multiple reasons. That's one of the reasons why I kind of stopped doing the podcast, because you can't vet everything that every single person has ever said that's been on your podcast, and like it happened a couple of times.
You mean this podcast or
no?
This podcast?
No. The little interview podcast.
I know. I'm teasing.
I can't. You guys are uncancelable. But no, like you don't know what somebody said 10 years ago somewhere, and like you're gonna get tied to that person, and everybody's gonna act like you're, you know, best buds, and you endorse it or whatever. You know, it's like I probably shouldn't care about that, but it's just I don't want to deal with it. You know,
100%. Like that's like, when did this happen? Where like everything that everyone's ever done and said, all of a sudden, like even I'm even nervous about like fan meetups and stuff, because like, or like, you know, I have the Astro Awards coming up, and like we do a meet and greet and stuff like that, and like there's gonna be pictures of me with hundreds of people with maybe my arm around them giving a thumbs up, like what am I not to like get a release form saying like please don't murder anyone, or like say
later
anything,
this becomes
like, don't say anything like racist or something in the next like 20 years, please.
I actually do say that sometimes when people like see me on the street and are like, can I get a picture? I'm like, you haven't killed anybody, have you?
That's a good one.
Good. I should just make him sign a waiver. Like, no, but that's the
Yeah,
point.
just pull out your phone. You can do that.
But that's like the point is like it's it's just crazy to me that that it kind of became like you're attached to someone now for doing anything. Period.
Yeah.
Like it's
well, I mean, but even
unattainable.
It's really bizarre. I remember when I was pretty early on doing the Tesla stuff, and I started to make more vlog style videos where I would like go try things out and go do things. And one time I don't know why, I don't know what I was doing, but somebody was was accusing me of copying Casey Neistat. And I'm just like, they're like, don't become like Casey Neistat and MKBHD. I'm like, why not? Those are my heroes on this platform. Like, what are you saying?
Mhm.
It's like telling a basketball player, don't become like Michael Jordan. Like, this is what every basketball player's dream is. What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, what are people thinking? I guess they're not, is the thing, you know?
I think
people don't.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, go ahead, Joe. I mean, it's just like, they don't think is the final answer. They just, vent and let it go, let it fly.
I think people subscribe to channels. Not everybody, obviously, but some people subscribe to channels wanting this specific thing. And if you deviate from that in any way, they just get furious. Like something I've been dealing with lately is, well, we can talk about why, but I did slow down in my posting a little bit this last year because I had other side projects going on. So I kind of filled in the gaps with things like compilations. Because I mean, my God, I have 10 years of videos just sitting there. And so I started so I'm getting off topic a little bit, but I started posting those, and I had a lot of comments from people that were like, I just discovered your channel recently, and these compilations are a great way to, find old stuff of yours that I've never seen before and stuff, So a lot of people really like them, and they put them on in the background, they sleep to them, but the lightning round videos are things that I've been doing. God, I feel like I'm complaining about this too much. I've been doing these once a month since I started my Patreon, 8 years ago, and it is once a month. And I'm still I dropped a video on Monday and I get comments that are like, thank God you're doing deep dive videos again. And I'm like, I never stopped doing them. But some people just get upset when it's not the thing they signed up for,
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. No, I struggle with that big. And I think it's also like, we care so much. We care so much about what we produce, about how people view it, if people are viewing it, if people are happy with what we're doing. And so I think people just feel the need to just comment and post and make a comment, even if they don't necessarily have anything to say. And even if they don't necessarily mean it. Like, I can't tell you how many times someone's been like, hey man, that was really stupid what you did, blah, blah. And they'll say something, then I'll respond and be like, I'm really sorry that I didn't really mean it like that. And they're like, oh, I was just.
Yeah.
Oh, you saw that?
Yeah, you saw. Oh, sorry, I was. Just
oh, you're a person?
Yeah, and it's like, I think people just need to feel like they want to. And I find myself doing that. Like if I'm watching a video and I see a mistake, I'm like thinking about commenting, oh, you accidentally said that it was 1972, but it was 1971. But it's like,
right.
Stop. What am I doing? It doesn't matter. Yeah. So I don't know. We're all guilty of it, but it's that old. I think we used to talk about this a lot. Where we're living in the era where. Back in the day, you'd have someone that's a subject matter expert would be at the front of the room and everyone would be listening. And maybe one or two people would be asking questions in a lecture or something. But now it's you have the expert in the room and everyone's on the same platform at the same volume with the same microphone screaming.
Yeah.
So it all just is
well,
noise,
I would argue it's usually the non-subject matter experts that are the loudest.
Because they have nothing else to do. The subject matter experts are out there doing the...
I think there's something that's it's weird for I think any of our channels, but maybe more so you guys, because your content in what you talk about, you're not hiding the fact that you are not the expert, right? I've never seen Joe come out and be like, guess what, guys? I don't need to research this. I just know. And here's what's going on with geology and rocks. And you're like, no. It's always I don't know this. I think it's cool. Let me research it and tell you, given my perspective and experiences and whatever knowledge I came into this with, what I think about it. And that's what's interesting, right? Same with you, Tim. Now you definitely are a aerospace expert, but
I consider you one.
You were a wedding photographer that liked space stuff when you first started, right? And so it was it's not either none of us, I mean, I was maybe more on I'm an expert thing, but more like I know how to look at numbers, but I don't know jack about this. Like, so let's look at the numbers about that. And maybe
Yeah,
I'm wrong, but definitely. So I think that's the weird thing. Like sometimes, people get those personas like the Jordan Petersons of the world where like seemingly they're an educated person and they might be an expert in one subject, but because of the internet, now they are an expert in every subject. And you're like, what is wrong with this person? But they lean into it. They lean into whatever I am saying is gospel, and you must adhere to it. I think those people deserve all the shit that they get from people saying you're an idiot. What's wrong with you? I think all of us kind of normies that are just fascinated with the thing and have become skilled at presenting that thing in a way that other people find useful. I think it's like who are you trying to attack? Like on my new channel, I get people ranting about how I make a cocktail wrong, and I'm like, I don't know. Like, you're probably right. I really have no fucking clue. Like, it tastes
You're
good.
just like, yes.
Yeah, I'm like, someone on my thing, they said, oh, this other guy's channel is so much better than this one. And I responded, I was like, I agree. Like, I think his channel is great. Like, definitely go watch that before you come watch my dumb videos,
Yeah.
But I think that's the weird thing is like people just feel the need to be heard, I think is what it is. Like validation, you know what I mean?
We all just need to be heard.
Yeah.
It's just, we all just need it. Yeah.
Yeah. So don't have kids if you want that, by the way, just advice.
Speaking of being heard, how about this for a transition, for a segue? Ford Lightning was canceled.
Oh, yeah.
That's not being heard. That's being.
Someone told me that. Did they actually cancel it? I don't know. I just heard that they were
shutting the
changing
factory
their
down
plans.
and everything. Like,
oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. My understanding is it's fully like canned, which makes me really sad because I thought a couple years ago the talk was like, oh, this is just sort of a stopgap. We're kind of taking the regular Ford F-150 chassis and just making it electric, and the next one we'll do will be like more built around it being an EV, and it doesn't sound like there's any talks about that.
It's the incentives, man. It's all about money. I said it back when YouTube got really mad at me for mentioning whoever's in charge of the U.S. government right now by name, and then the videos get flagged. Anyways, weird things happen. But I mentioned like, hey, if you take away the incentives that have been in there, and these companies have been planning for years now and spending billions of dollars towards this thing that you said would be there, and now it's not, they're gonna be forced to shift, right? And that's fine. That's what businesses do. That's capitalism. That's how it works. Argue that separately. But the point is like the rest of the world isn't doing that. The rest of the world is still headed towards these same targets and same goals. So all that means is that these U.S. companies are going to be left further and further behind. So as like, say, BYD with the sodium battery, when that came out not too long ago, that is like mind blowing. If it's really true and they can scale that out, that is going to be like the end. Like solid state batteries, sure. But I mean, that's still a lot to be figured out there. Sodium batteries are like, yo, it's in a car and that thing charges at a megawatt and it costs nothing. Like, I mean, they're talking like, God, what was it like? Matt Farrow was telling me it was like, I want to say it was like $15 a kilowatt hour to produce these batteries.
What?
Yeah. I mean, like nothing. It's like $0 essentially.
Is this the battery that has to be like a really high temperature sodium?
No, it can handle extreme temperatures better. Anyways, things like that where, okay, so, we're going to shift the incentives in the U.S. car market, which is a very important industry for the country and important for the world, now don't have like all the billions of dollars that they had either spent or laid out are sort of wasted, and they're not going to continue to function unless they shift gears and go towards whatever that new target is. And then in a couple years, that target's going to shift again. I mean, it's really, really tough for them. I understand the position they're in and how hard that is. But all that means is the competitive advantage is just gone. You know what I mean? Because that's what companies want, is they want a government that can lay out some kind of, whatever regulations for them, and they can count on them. And when those things shift and change all the time, that's what businesses hate. And so I'm not surprised.
Same
I
with
mean,
the
that's
space program. Like that's how, you know, NASA gets their rug pulled out from them all the time because every administration changes. All of a sudden it's like, oh, this $2 billion satellite now is like maybe up for the chopping block because this new administration doesn't care about it. And it's like, we need like some consistency. There needs to be like a baseline that's just always you can rely on or something. And it's like, especially now with like kind of identity politics, it becomes this whole, like you want to like do things that inflict damage on the past administration, you know, like just to spite them. And it's like, and so all we're doing is we're shooting ourselves in the foot constantly with like any of that kind of stuff. I mean, right now, like we're dealing with, segue again, AI data centers and stuff. Like, you know, there's talks about trying to regulate them so that like, you know, because right now, like people are having their electrical grids, you know, the prices of electricity are spiking in some places really bad.
right.
And there's no prevention for that for, you know, the average person is making big, you know, big effects for certain people and hitting their, you know, monthly bills and all that stuff. And at the same time, like if you try to regulate it too much, like now it's this whole classic debate of like, now if we regulate it, are we going to fall behind in AI? Also, like AI is completely like unregulated and like undisclosed, and like generative AI is like already making distrust on the internet like horrible. Like it's
Dude,
like I get exhausted even spending like 2 minutes on Instagram now because it's like every other video is fake, and you just immediately grow like, what's the point? Like I'm quickly hitting what's the point?
Can you still spot
That's
them?
the scary thing is half the time no.
I've been tricked. I've been tricked recently, and I'm like, oh my God. I thought I was immune to this. No.
Yeah, I saw somebody saying that like all this sort of backlash against generative AI is a temporary thing because soon enough nobody's going to know the difference.
Dude,
which is terrifying.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law sent me a video of an F4 fighter jet, like which is, you know, Vietnam era like fighter jet, doing all these crazy maneuvers, avoiding this missile, and sent it completely like, this is crazy. And I was like, I don't even think the F4 is in service anymore. You know, that's my first like thought. And then the maneuvers it was doing was insane, but it looked so real. And I'm like, dude, I'm pretty sure this. I immediately saw, I'm like, pretty sure this is AI. Yeah. And he's like really tech savvy. Like my brother-in-law is super tech savvy. So like for him, and he's like, wow, I think this is the first time I've really been fooled. You know, and like it's just when's it get better? Like where are we going with this? What's the point? Like no one's gonna care to be on the internet if nothing's real.
So
no, I think AI exhaustion is already happening. I've seen like people sharing memes that are like, I can't spend the rest of my life trying to figure out if everything I see is real or not. You know, I mean,
to
people
that
are already
point,
just like, I give up. I can't even, you know.
I'm guessing in person or even live streaming type things are going to become more popular. I'm guessing. I don't know, but like I went to
in person for sure.
You know, my life is weird right now. One of my best friends is a former acrobat, like Cirque du Soleil type acrobat. And so there's a circus in town and we went and, you know, got to kind of go backstage and do all. It's like the most amazing, just seeing something like people so talented doing something so artistic and just insane in person is like, it's so gratifying. I'm like, dude, this is, I mean, even music, like I was listening the other day and you know how you, I'm one of the weirdos that uses YouTube music, which is shockingly good. It's weird. I don't know because like the kids, they put on Spotify out there and then I can't listen to it, whatever. So I'm listening to it and I like this kind of like loungy jazz, like really relaxed, you know, kind of like red light, you know, singer. And this song comes on and I'm like, God, this is great. And I look it up, 100% AI. 100 and I was just like, I'm gonna subscribe, I'm gonna join the Patreon, and I was like, oh my god, I'm like, and I've been listening to this like, wow, who is this singer? She's phenomenal. And I was just like, oh my god, like this is the worst.
I just spent the past, like, it's been 2 years, but really like this summer I took like 2 weeks off and then every night for like 3 months and then another like 2 weeks of production working on a new album. And it's literally been, this is the hardest I've ever worked on an album. It's probably like hundreds of hours. You know, like when I've made music in the past, like it's normally just kind of a sit at the computer, program stuff, loops, and, you know, do a little bit of guitar stuff, and then like more or less cut and paste done. This has been like, I really wanted to make music like I used to when I was young, like where you're spending a lot of time and you're going over every fine detail and actually recording like everything with like real instruments, real drums, like brought producers up, like 2 guys came, an engineer, and like we spent the whole week in a barn recording drums, like in this incredible studio space. And it was so rewarding. And I'm so nervous that like I'm putting this out in a time where like Spotify's backlog of just uploading is like through the roof because it's being flooded with AI garbage. Like, what's this? What's the point?
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
I had really hoped that AI would come take all the shitty jobs that no one wants, like, and I'm going to say some things that people would be mad about. I don't care, like accounting and things like that, just like taxes, just like do that shit. Okay,
right?
Don't take the music and the photos and the videos.
These are almost the first things to really go. Is like the creative, which is shocking. I thought like
that's what I mean.
Like the photographers are in trouble. The videographers, like media companies that are making commercials are in trouble. Us like content creators are in trouble. Musicians, graphic designers, like
live in person is going to be the future, man. It's like because you can't trust anything digitally,
And I think I've had a theory lately that the YouTube aesthetics, especially in thumbnails and stuff, is going to get a lot simpler. Because people just want to trust like other people now, know.
That's true. I hope that's the case. I hope that's where people lean towards is like, I think maybe last year or the year before when we were talking about this stuff, we were talking about how I've found like tactile things to be, things that were handmade or like put a lot of care into, like the Singer Porsches and like, these cars that like they went away from like just simplicity and they're going towards like extravagant, handmade, knurled, and brushed aluminum, like all these, things you can feel and the stitching and stuff. And like, I hope that as a society, we move towards that as valuable as we look at and say like, oh, this required a lot of human hours and a lot of love and care and sweat, blood and tears. Therefore it's valuable, and hopefully we just as a society, like put that up on a poster because otherwise I don't know what we're doing. Like what's
I'm telling you, man. I mean, yeah, it's going to be, I'm with y'all. I think I don't know, at least for us oldies, this is like where it's going, like I have a Hamilton watch, which is like an actual real watch. I can't tell you how many people are like, is that a Hamilton? What is that? Oh my God. And it's like there's this weird culture I didn't know existed, but now I'm sort of a part of it. I'm like, yo, these things are art. And
watch
yes,
guys are crazy. Yeah.
Dude, I'm not even like, no, I'm nowhere near that. Yeah. But in my world, in the booze tube that I'm in now, the world of booze tubers, that's like the same thing. Like, oh, where did you get that Amaro Nonino or whatever? Like that specific bottle of this. Like I bought a bottle of a thing called chartreuse, which is like this liqueur that's made by these French monks, and they've discontinued making it. So now that's like whatever's out there is out there. I got it for like 20 euros at a store. I told people about that. They were just like, I'm going to kill you for that. Like, it's like impossible. Yeah. But things like that, where it's like, this is something real. I think that's what we're all after, is like authenticity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so this is where maybe like AI and thumbnails and stuff, like I've done. I mean, you can like Photoshop some things, make, get rid of some of these crow's feet, whatever. But like, I think that stuff, like the Mr. Beast stuff, like I hope it goes away. I know that I mean, the videos he does are real and amazing and all that, but I just mean like there's over sensationalism. It's going to be like Mr. Beast will be replaced by AI sooner than I don't know, somebody that's
maybe already has.
Yeah. Is he still alive in there? I don't know. But those things, because AI stuff always seems to be like that. AI stuff I haven't seen just be like, someone that sucks at playing guitar. It's always like someone that's amazing at it.
Yeah. Speaking of Mr. Beast thumbnails, I made the huge mistake, I guess, of I actually had a real like big red button. I was out at Stoke Space, and I took a picture of myself with this big red button and like the cover and all that stuff and all these monitors, and I did like hitting the button. And I used that as my thumbnail for the range, which is the people that hit the big red flight, destruct button. And I got so many people. I'm not even watching this crap because of the stupid thumbnail.
Oh,
he's doing the old face or whatever. It's like the Mr. Beast face.
Wait, but back up. There's a person whose job is to blow up the rocket, and there's a big red button.
There has been in the past, yes.
How do I get this job? That sounds like
You're over there just like,
I'll do that. I will push this.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's
Hey,
a
Ray.
Space Force officer actually nowadays. It used to be Air Force, now Space Force officer does that at
That's
the range.
amazing.
So yeah, but nowadays also there's automated flight termination. So like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
kind of going away. But anyway, I changed the thumbnail.
And it was a
because
real
of
photo.
pressure. It was a real photo, and
That's-
yes, I
that's the
photoshopped
thing.
some stuff to like make it like flash, like I put a explosion on the screen.
Uh-huh.
You know, like.
Yeah.
And it was a flashy thumbnail, but like I was kind of excited about it because I'm like, I actually found a big red button in a place where you can like terminate something. Like,
And that's like the real button they push. That
this
wasn't
one
like
was a real button that they could push to like stop a terminal thing at a test site. So it wasn't
Yeah.
like the flight termination button.
but it's a thing. I mean, it's
Yeah.
close enough. You know.
I was
Give me a
excited
break.
about it, and then everyone just absolutely ruined it
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
somebody. Go ahead, Joe.
was it over this week? It was over this weekend. Yeah, it's all blurring right now. I took the time to go back through my entire YouTube channel and my Nebula uploads and changed or removed any thumbnail that looked anywhere remotely close to something within 100 yards of AI. Because confession, I suppose, but like when Midjourney first came out, I played with it. You know, everybody I knew was playing with it, and I did use it for some thumbnail. I'm talking like 2-3 years ago, and it's
Ancient
funny
history.
because nobody had a problem with it back then. Nobody said a word about it, but then like over the last 4 or 5 months or so, like people keep finding these old thumbnails and flipping out at me and saying I'm unsubscribing and screw you and all this, and I'm literally, you know, pulling an artist out of a studio and beating him in the street with a baseball bat or something, you know. And
That would make great art. That'd be performance art.
that could be AI. But I don't know. So I stopped using any kind of Midjourney stuff a while back. I don't even have access to it anymore. I've never done any AI video. Like Sora, I've never done a single Sora ever. I don't even know how to do it. But
garbage,
like I
man.
suddenly got plastered as this like AI art thief or something. and some of the more recent ones that I got in trouble for, actually I got them from Adobe Stock. Because
Yeah.
Adobe Stock is almost all AI now.
Yes, and even if you do exclude AI, there's still stuff that I know is AI, and they just don't label it correctly.
Yeah.
Wow.
So-
that's insane.
I don't know. I got really defensive because of course people like calling me a thief, and I'm like, screw you, you know. And so I got all defensive
Thief
about
of
it. That
what?
backfired horribly. So I kind of decided I'm just not going to talk about it anymore because I just dig myself deeper. Like I don't do them anymore. I don't use the AI on Adobe Stock anymore. I've removed the offending thumbnails. But here's the other part. There are also thumbnails that were not remotely anything AI that are getting accused of being AI. You know?
Yeah.
Like my favorite was I do 2 live streams for my Patreon people every month. And one of them is a whiskey live stream on Thursday night, and one of them is a coffee live stream.
wanna
on
come to
Saturday mornings
that.
so that people from the different, you know, time zones can watch or whatever.
I want to come to the whiskey live stream. That
You're
sounds
welcome.
awesome.
I'd love to have you. We're doing one tomorrow actually. But anyway, so the whiskey live stream thumbnail, I've been using that. I'm lazy. I've been using that same thumbnail because I mean it's just for the Patreon people.
Right.
Using the same thumbnail for like 10 years now. And I guess when the book came out, I made it public. I did it public on the channel, which was something I don't normally do. So the general public saw that, and it's just a shot of a whiskey glass. And I got all these comments that are like AI thumbnail, and I'm like, it was literally made before AI existed. Like,
it's like 10 years old.
yeah. So it's just, you know, and it's like I can step outside of my own ego and be like, this is just the world we're in now. And I totally understand where they're coming from. I think that's one of the weird things about it is I'm like 95% on their side.
Right.
You know? And so I get the anger and stuff. I just don't like that it's coming at me.
I mean, are you,
You know?
are we
Well,
allowed to
it's-
shoot on digital or only film? I mean,
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
like
exactly.
how far
And
back
where's
does
the
this
line?
go?
Like, there are AI tools in Premiere. There's AI tools
Mhm.
in Photoshop. Like, I use generative expand on Photoshop all the time to make a vertical image wide for a
Yeah,
landscape. I
I
mean,
have to
is
do that a lot,
that
too.
verboten
Yeah.
now? I don't know.
Right. I think the real delineator. So I experienced a similar thing one time. I used I was trying to make a thumbnail myself. I used generative AI. This is probably 2 years ago to get me like the original image, and then I still spent like 2 or 3 hours photoshopping it, mostly to make it not look AI, but like also like just because it still needed a lot of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
And when I posted it, I got like absolutely reamed, and I ended up like spending $400 to hire a 3D artist to like recreate the image basically. And like it was, I guess that's the right thing to do, but also it's like I was trying to use it as a tool for myself to not have to spend as much like time and effort, in a thing, and I still spent multiple hours still doing the thing. Like so but I get it too, because trust me, I get it, because we're literally like our stuff is being stolen, like our voices and our faces, and like for someone else. And what I think people aren't necessarily picking up on, and the danger when people are like, what's the big deal? People have been copying other people's work the entire, everyone was inspired by the Beatles or whatever. Like, are we going to put them all in jail because they were inspired? The difference is that at some point, like a human had to spend hours still like making and blah, 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 blah. And one human now can do 10,000 times the amount of like copying. You know what I mean? Like one human now with generative AI can produce more albums in 10 minutes, music albums in 10 minutes, and upload them to Spotify than I can do in my entire lifetime. So like that's not the same. I'm sorry, that's not the same.
It's because the guy that used, so the way I look at it is there is AI as a tool, and it's just a better tool. And then there's this insanity plagiaristic type thing that is like what you're talking about. And have you seen the Sora app where you can like put yourself in these situations and things? Like Casey Neistat did a video on it.
I think I've been seeing these trends where people put themselves like on movie sets where they're like,
well, no,
like 10 celebrities or something.
So there's an app from Sora, from OpenAI. I think the app is called Sora, and it's not the one where like you generate a video. It's like endless TikTok that is literally generating new videos as you scroll on random slop nonsense. Go check out Casey Neistat's video on it if you haven't seen it. But he has access to it, and he can like put himself into it, and it's like he can. I mean, it's that it's AI. Like you can tell it's AI just enough, but it looks super hyper realistic. Of like he got into a car crash and someone died or something like that. Like it can look absolutely insane, and like and it's endless. And then there's the version of like literally just like, you just scroll and it just is just coming up with random nonsense 24/7, and you're just like, I can't even. I mean, if this is the future of where it's going, this is like bad news.
Well, and think about the kids that are growing up with this, and that's normal to them. They don't know a world where you could just trust any picture that you saw or anything. So
where do we go from here?
We're in a post-truth world. That's where we are now.
How has there not been regulations yet, like to say like any of these generative companies, like I guess how do you regulate it at some point? Because people, money. But like it should be illegal to upload something that is generated as something else, like and say like, to try to mislead people or like scams and getting people to believe that, blah 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 said this and
someone did this and
someone did this.
It's like, bad, man.
It cannot be like, I'm sorry, but it will not be used for good. Like it can't be.
We're screwed. We are like, completely
screwed. You can't out truth it. You can't like make it the most so true that like it's gonna do good. Or like
this is why I've shifted all my creative energy toward making cocktails, because that's where I'm going.
All you can do is drink.
That's it. I'm just gonna have a bar. I'm gonna have a bar. I'm gonna have a few members. You guys come in. We're gonna make good drinks, and that's gonna be the end of it.
Reality screwed. Escape it.
There you go. That'll be it. We'll call it Reality Screwed.
But okay, so how do you guys feel about this? Here's a little mini segue. So AI obviously is going to be behind the scenes of absolutely everything. But the one technology that I think I would like to see it pick up is actually with humanoid robots. Although that's going to take even more jobs, but like, would you guys own one to do housekeeping?
So you want to go straight to Terminator?
Yeah,
No,
that's the movie I grew up
robot thing
on.
is interesting. I'm following it, fairly close.
There's a lot of them. I mean, there's a lot of them. Yeah. There's that creepy one that has like the weird beady, like it looks like two button eyes. Have you seen that one?
Oh,
telerobotics,
yeah.
like
telerobotic.
Yeah.
That is the most freaky, hellish type vision of the future, because you know what's going to happen is there's going to be, if that was successful, which I hope to God it's not. If that was successful, you would have countless warehouses owned by someone like Amazon of just people inside of a cage doing this shit for rich people somewhere else in the world, having that person. It's like having slaves, essentially, is what it is. But they're like I don't know. They're like not in person, because that's what it would end up being. You would just have armies and armies of people.
That's their stopgap for now, is having it be telerobotics until they get the AI figured out. But like,
I mean, who are you going to trust though? I mean, if money's going to be made,
but for 20 grand, let's say you could pay 20 grand. I'm sure there's going to be a monthly thing too, or whatever. Would you have, if a humanoid robot could do all your dishes, laundry, housekeeping, even like basically everything that you would hate doing around your house, would you pay 20 grand for it?
Yeah, thumbs down for me.
Joe? If mine's actually AI, like if it's not human driven.
What I don't like is the idea that some company has literally got like my entire home imaged and mapped on a database somewhere. That makes me deeply uncomfortable. But I mean, there's definitely been times when we've had to, leave town for a few days, and you got to find a dog sitter. You got to find, it's like, if I had a robot that could just let the dogs out and feed them, it'd be kind of cool,
What's it called? I'm trying to look it up. The one you're talking about.
That weird one. Oh, I don't know. Just like a button eyeball.
An amazing humanoid
robot. I just typed in button eyeball, and no, that did not work.
I want to see Tim's search history right now.
Robotic, telerobotic,
VR2?
humanoid. Maybe that's the one.
Führer Intelligence? Führer Intelligence. That's the name of this.
X1 Neo home robot. That's the one.
Okay. Neo, I remember that.
I mean, in some ways he's kind of cute, but in other ways it's real creepy. I don't know. It's funny because I'm sitting here being like, I've realized, by the way, that I'm doing the opposite of what we were just talking about, where I'm saying if there's a human in the loop, I don't want it. I don't want that human labor. Give me the AI only version that can do all this stuff without someone walking through my house. Like, but then that's I am the biggest hypocrite of them all.
You're the problem, Tim.
I am.
Yeah. How could you?
I don't want music that has humans in it. Like, there we go. That's the X1 Neo.
How do I make this bigger?
Consume flesh.
I wove this sweater from human hair.
Science fiction. Yeah, my mind immediately goes to Westworld. What a great show.
Oh God. Isn't it crazy, all these sci-fi things that like we've grown up watching, and we're just literally making them?
I just don't get that. I mean, look, like I live in a different world now. I live in an apartment. You know what I mean? It's cleaning the whole thing takes 10 minutes. Like doing dishes. I have 2 kids. You want to earn that allowance?
Pretty
go do the dishes.
Houses too. I don't think it's about the size of the house, because I've lived in an apartment. I've let it be the messiest thing in the world. It's just a matter of like, if someone else could do my dishes and my laundry and like all the things that, take away from me either working or taking time off, like then that'd be great.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that I think this might just be a marketing thing, but I see like this Neo robot that you just pulled up. There's all these images of it with like an old guy with his arm around it. And it's like, I think that is, as I'm getting older and I think more about like someday somebody's going to need to take care of me, like the idea of having a personal assistant robot that can provide a modicum of safety, should I fall and not be able to get up, I don't have my little button to press, but I've got a robot that can help me out, I think that is a decent selling point for these kinds of things.
We have people that do that already. I mean, I know it's not as common
No,
back
yeah.
back home, but like here, you see it all over the place. You know, I see over there's like by the park. There's we live sort of by this park that has like a hospital and stuff, and there's always elderly people wandering around. I mean, maybe it's just a U.S. thing because I remember when I was in Tokyo 2 years ago, it was the same deal. Like there were elderly folks that needed help, and they had it, and there were assistants and people helping them all over the place. And I don't think these are all like rich people. I think these are like the government sort of has systems in place to be like, hey, look, like we got to take care of our people,
Oh, especially
maybe one
because
day
their population is getting.
well, yeah,
funnel.
totally. Japan has, but I mean, here in Spain, I mean, it's the same deal. Like it's really bizarre. Like I feel like back home in the U.S., I didn't really see like people in wheelchairs and elderly people wandering around the places I would be, like at the mall or restaurants or things like that. Here at these other places, and like when I was in Italy last year, same thing. It just feels like other parts of the world have a different perspective on it, where like it's just normal that you need to provide services for people. Like people need help, like you can't. Like, what are you going to do? I mean, not everyone can afford a $20,000 robot or whatever, or actual in-home care. I mean, it's really expensive. And then there's like, extreme cases of like memory care and things like that, which are different. But like, I feel like, I don't know. Yeah. It seems like maybe that's the issue, maybe the idea behind this was spawned from people not living somewhere where that is a thing, because a lot of parts of the world, like having those types of services just is a thing.
It's just
Yeah. So it's just different. Yeah. It's wild. I don't know. I grew up with Terminator, so I'm out. Never.
It's definitely coming. Like this is, I mean,
you
all
think
these
so?
things. Oh, I mean, a lot of people are working on it. We finally have like, I think the two technological breakthroughs that are allowing this to actually happen, well, three, is batteries are getting good enough for this to be viable for like a power plant. Motors are fine enough movement and controllable enough to, look at what Boston Dynamics did. We look 10 years ago compared to now. It's like these things walk and move exactly like humans do now. And then, of course, you have to have a general intelligence capable of deciphering the world around it and make informed decisions about what it's supposed to do. So I think all these technologies are all converging to this being a consumer product in the next 5 years. Like, I really think so. The one thing that I need to see a company do, and I really would like to see it in self-driving cars. Like, I don't know why Tesla hasn't done this years ago, would be where it asks for instructions from the user. Like, and I hope that people are like, did I do this right? I've been complaining about this forever, that we need like a feedback loop, like a yes or no, because all we have is the brake or the wheel to disengage to be like, oops, you did something wrong. But like, I'd rather it be like, did I do that right? Yeah, you did that right. Good job. Keep going, or like, if you're like, I would love if I had a humanoid robot and I'm trying to teach it how to do my laundry or something, that I could show it and go, here, this is what I'm doing. Can you repeat back to me what I just did? Yeah, I will do this. Perfect. Sounds great. Like a way to like, I don't know. Sure. Like, I just feel
there has to be, but maybe the argument against that is that you can't trust people always. Like, people's opinions are unreliable, right? Like, look at 1-star reviews on Yelp because there was some random dumb thing that was completely outside of like a restaurant's control. Like, it was raining that day and I couldn't park in front of there. So 1 star, you're like, fuck is that? What are you even talking about?
But the food was delicious.
Yeah, exactly.
Food was amazing. Service was great. I loved the place. 1 star.
1 star.
Yeah. There was no
humanoid robot. I burnt all your clothes. Wait, why? What? Because now there's no laundry. Like, you never have to worry about laundry again.
I think, okay, I'll give you this. I'm out on that, obviously, but this AR type world, I think, is an interesting next phase that I could see becoming useful. Like, for example, I have these AirPods in right now. I bought these because I live in a country that I'm getting better at speaking the language of, but it has the live translation feature, which, by the way,
is it good?
No, it's absolute dog shit. It's Apple. It's Apple. Their software is garbage, right? Beautiful functioning hardware, but everything else bad, in my opinion. But yeah, so it sucks. But I see where it's going, and I could see this being a very easy, it's not making a humanoid robot. That seems like infinitely harder than just like getting the microphone able to discern what someone's saying and give. Basically what happens now is if I'm somewhere and it's trying to do the thing, I've tried it, it'll be like a 10 or 15-second delay, which is just
Oh,
like,
wow.
meanwhile, like a person standing there looking at you like,
Yeah.
why aren't you speaking? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're like,
oh God.
like, have you seen those skits where it's like if if humans were ChatGPT, like guy goes in for a job interview, they're like, hey, how are you doing? He's like, and pauses and then has a
Yeah.
response. I'm doing great. Let's get straight to the point. No BS.
Yeah.
I want to like whatever. But see, so I'm in on this. Like in Meta has those glasses, which I've tested out the older ones, not the newest ones that have a screen.
Yeah.
But I could totally see walking around in the future with a pair of glasses on like that that are just basically normal looking glasses. Meanwhile, someone comes up to me, starts speaking in a foreign language, I immediately know what they're saying.
Mhm.
They would have, and if they have them on too, or and if the problem is that
Directions.
companies own technology. I feel like companies are the problem in a way, because when we had more, like in the early days of the internet, back in my day, the whole idea was open source everything and protocols. Everything had to communicate and be interoperable. Otherwise, things wouldn't work. Like HTTP is a good example. Like it didn't matter if you were a Netscape Navigator or Internet Explorer or Firefox. You all supported the exact same standard for hypertext transfer protocol, right? Like how to render a web page. Because if you didn't, like you were saying before, like runways of airplanes or different airplanes would be different, right? Like one web page would work here and not here, and we still actually kind of have relics of that, right? Like this website doesn't work here, but it works in Chrome or something like that. So I could see a future, hopefully, where we have a more augmented reality things, and they're using, quote unquote AI to help us understand and communicate better in the world. And that I think would be a future I'd be excited about, going somewhere and seeing the Yelp review. And, as you're outside of a restaurant in a city, you're looking around going, where do I go to lunch or whatever?
Yeah.
And it's just all right in front of you. I think that's cool. And that I'm excited about. So if AI is like doing that, I think that helps us be more connected and more human in a way. Whereas like all these other things, I'm like, this is
Right.
going the wrong direction.
Going the wrong.
I do not want to go down that future.
You mentioned something, and it made me. There's a thought I've been having, and it might be. This is probably going to be now Tim's communist, but I have a question about how obviously right now, like the market, like especially like IPOs and like the stock market in general is becoming so futures based. Like it's all gambling. It's all just like, what's the value of this company, blah, blah, blah. And we're getting $1 trillion companies that are not making a profit, like all this ridiculous stuff. Is there ever been, and this is my absolute ignorance on this subject, has there ever been like a country or a law or something, or should there be, or could there be, where like only a certain amount of a company can be publicly traded, the rest has to be like divided by the employees? Like, like, because right now I think that's like such a big gap, is like the employees are making less and less and less as these companies are growing more and more and more. And obviously as they incentivize profits, especially for their shareholders, all these big compromises are being made. And at the end of the day, I feel like the workforces in general are becoming, people are becoming further detached from this massive growth. And like, what if it's just like, or what if a company made that their stance, like, hey, we're never going to sell more than 50% of our, our value of our company,
right,
can never be more than 50% owned by outside investors, so that we also care about what matters to the employees. We also care as we grow as a company, and as we increase in value, all of you become more, become wealthier too.
You get to play in it. Well, bad news, Tim, you are a communist. Hate to break it to you. But I don't know. I don't have any answer on that. I mean, that's like all up to the companies.
I know, like, private companies, obviously, like if you work at SpaceX,
they can do what they want.
You have your shares in your company. I totally understand that. But as they're about to go IPO, there's rumors of them IPOing here next year.
Oh,
yeah. Then like, what happens? Like, I know that those people will inherently still own like that stock. That stock will trade over or whatever, and they'll get
it'll be converted.
But like, I don't know. Like, now you're in the arms of the shareholders, though. You know what I mean? Like, I wish that, I don't know.
Certainly, going public changes a lot. I'll give you a weird, different example that I learned about here recently, and maybe it's a bit abstract, but it's similar to what you're saying. So, a good, let's say, a decent bottle of wine here in Spain from La Rioja region, which is up north, and it's a protected government. Like if you're selling a bottle of wine called Rioja, it must come from that region. It's one of those things like champagne in France and that kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
And if I were to go, like if you guys were to go to the store and buy a bottle of, I think it's called Campo Viejo, whatever, it's probably a similar brand you've heard of before. It would probably be $20 to $30 back in the US, right? That same bottle, in fact, probably a better vintage from a few years previous or whatever, is going to be between €6 and €10 tops, and that is an expensive bottle of wine. Like I'll buy a bottle of wine for €2, and it's good. Now, how is that possible?
Right.
Well, it's almost like what you're saying, a similar idea. So the rules are for certain industries in this country, and I imagine other countries have similar things, where that company that makes that thing, if they want to be called Rioja because they're made in that region, which is a government approved seal, like it is absolutely from this region, they're only allowed to sell a certain percentage of that outside of the country. And the rest of it must be sold locally, and it must be sold like not at cost, but like at, some kind of agreed upon amount percentage above whatever it costs you to make. So that's why, back in the US, that bottle could be $20, $30 or more. And here it's like $5 tops. It's not that it's any different or it's just so much cheaper here. It's the fact that the company, in this case, the country is making sure that its people are being protected in a way from the fruits of where they're from. And so it's a similar idea where, like, if a company were to go public, it'd be like, great, but we always have to ensure that employees are guaranteed X amount. I don't think I've heard of anything like that before. But I did find it fascinating how I learned how Spain does it with something like wine. And I think that other countries or other, places could do similar things. It'd be really cool, to see. Cause that way it's almost like if you're in the Middle East and all of a sudden the price of gasoline is like astronomically high. You're like, what the hell? Like we make all the gasoline.
Yeah.
like how is this? And of course it's not. It's very cheap, and it's a similar kind of a deal. You know what I mean?
Are you guys paying attention at all to the Nvidia bubble potentially?
Is this so? Nvidia is okay. Speaking of communism, isn't Nvidia owned by the U.S. government now, or partially?
Are they bought into it? They invested in it.
Yeah, I don't even.
I mean,
know
state owned.
No, I think they did. I think you're right.
I mean, what is the definite? List me a checkpoints of what is communism. It sounds like that's on there. Like state owned enterprises. Is that not a part of it? I saw that and I was just like, what the hell is going on back there?
Weird.
No, I've
like,
been
guys, who
working
came
on
up with this idea?
video off and on that's supposed to be about the AI bubble and how there's like this circular economy between Nvidia and Meta and Google and OpenAI and all these companies, and it's just like it's a shell game.
They're just
moving hundreds of billions of dollars around, and it's like,
dude,
and it's all for something. They're all trying to get to AGI.
Mm-hmm.
So it's our entire economy right now is just a giant bet on us getting to AGI, which we don't know we'll ever get to. And if we do, we don't know what that's going to look like.
Yeah,
and how it's going to affect society. It's madness. It's utter madness.
Like, I wish we had this. We do have a race for fusion, but like, I wish that this was the race for fusion. I wish that the hundreds of billion or the trillions of dollars was all everyone racing towards fusion, because at least that will like benefit the world.
Yeah, that sounds like
AGI might not.
So a channel I watch a lot of nowadays is Curse Gazette. I don't know if I said that right.
Oh yeah, you said it better than I ever could.
Incredible, right? Those guys are, whoever does that, phenomenal. And obviously, I have a 10-year-old son, so we watch a lot of it. And I'm okay with it because it's great, huh?
Bright colors.
Well, it's, and it's educational. I mean, it's more than that, it's educational. And 10 years old is an interesting age because it's like, the little Cocomelon type nonsense is like not cool, right? Dora the Explorer is not cool, but like I can't be watching, I don't know, something way more like a Veritasium video I love, but he's like bored out of his mind in 10 seconds because he's like, what? Some equation? Like it's just all over his head, right? So it's like Curse Gazette is this really interesting thing where like, anyways, they had a video recently, I think it was called like The Last Invention Humans Will Ever Make. And they just sort of, you know what they do, right? They sort of they're very smart in how they research things and come up with them. But there's a lot of assumptions, and they sort of play on that of like, well, if this happened, like, and they talked about AGI in there, and they're like, yeah, this could be the last invention humans ever make, because we don't know where it's going to go or what's going to happen from here.
Okay, let's imagine a company does solve AGI, and all of a sudden you have this like smarter than every human ever producing all these now. Like one company is going to own all the IP for everything, because they're all going to be like, oh, actually, we already invented this. You didn't think of this. We actually have a thing on it, 20 years ago. Oh, this is, like, what's going to happen? Like, do you know what I mean? Like
I don't think there'll be a company anymore. I think
patent.
I think it would be the end of it. No, I mean, if there's
but
truly,
then,
maybe I'm just too dystopian.
What do we do? Like, what happens then?
We come over to Whiskey Time with Joe.
So I've had this argument for a long time that like everybody wants like the Jetsons future, but nobody wants the economy that would support a future like that. Like everybody wants a future where like robots and computers just like handle everything for us and we can just live our lives how we want. But that would mean like a universal basic income. Like everybody would have to have a share in that computer thing that runs everything. And I don't know. I mean, here in the U.S., we keep going the opposite direction. We're going more and more capitalist and getting rid of the guardrails and the social, nets and stuff. And so,
yeah, it's weird.
It's going to come to a head, and it's going to be ugly. And I think we're already seeing the early bits of it right now. But I just keep saying it's going to get worse.
It's all cycles, though, man. Everything is seasons. You know what I mean? I love that book, The
Just
Fourth
like
Turning.
NFTs were a really big thing 5 years ago, and now like when's the last time you heard of an NFT?
Didn't Justin Bieber lose a lot of money on it?
Is that a bad idea?
Why don't they just make like guardrails? Why don't they just? Hey,
they being humanity, why don't they stop being stupid?
Why don't we stop being stupid? Well, sorry.
Well, guys, I actually got on X, formerly known as Twitter, and I did a Give Me a Why Don't They Just, and I got a handful of good ones, by the way. I think there's two that are space flighty that I would really think are fun ones to talk about. Is that okay? I mean, that we'd go space flight?
I mean, of course, people are going to ask you space flight stuff.
Yeah, that's true. So it's a little skewed. We don't have, we're not having people ask us about our opinions, our ill-educated opinions about AGI. Okay, so how about this one? Why don't they just send a Dragon capsule around the moon? Because for some context here, Ben,
why
Artemis,
would they?
Artemis 2 is about to launch humans around the moon on the Orion capsule on SLS for the first time since the Apollo program, likely about March already. So March.
I need to make plans for that. I really want to see that.
Yes, you have to.
I really want to out for that.
Yeah. That's gonna be the first time humans fly around the moon, and it's gonna cost like $30 billion. And for the program plus this launch alone is $4 billion or whatever. Like, it's a lot of money. Why don't we just do the same mission profile on a Dragon capsule? Basically, is the question. What do you guys think?
The Dragon capsule is the SpaceX one.
Yep.
Have we not flown people around the moon?
Not since 1972.
Oh God, what am I thinking? The
Me.
inspiration.
Well, I was supposed to fly around the moon, but I didn't.
Yeah, no. But the inspiration 4 or something, wasn't that
just low Earth orbit?
Oh, okay.
Polaris Dawn, the inspiration ones went really high, but it didn't go.
Polaris Dawn went higher. I think it went 2,000 kilometers or something, but not 400,000.
Wasn't that the highest one since one of the Gemini missions or something?
Yep.
Not counting Apollo, of course.
Yep.
What's it called again? SLS? Is that what is happening?
Yeah, SLS is launching the Orion capsule.
I mean, how about why does that thing even exist still? Like, how about we get back to that?
Well, no, answer the question.
I think they finally launched, right?
Why don't we launch the Dragon capsule?
I'm assuming the Dragon capsule is not designed for deep space flight, and I immediately think of radiation, but also just I guess they have. I don't know what the longest Dragon mission has been, just for them to be in the capsule, but
it's small. No?
It's just not designed for that. It would be my answer.
Yeah, Joe, you pretty much nailed it. Yep. I'd say there's 3 limiting factors. One would be, deep space radiation protection is not as ample on Dragon. as it is Orion. Of course, you could potentially beef that up. 2 is free flying capability is only about 2 weeks. So one of the big limiting factors right now of Dragon is, how it has that little trunk that is like, half of it's solar, the other half is radiator. This solar actually, even if it's directly facing the sun, doesn't quite have enough, at least in low Earth orbit. Maybe if it was in constant sunlight. In low Earth orbit, you have to consider that it's going to be in the shade half the time, right? Because it's orbiting. So it'll be in the shade half the time. So maybe on deep space that would solve. But right now it's actually a net loss of energy. It can't keep up with power demand. So the battery, your free flight limiting factor is how big the battery is. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't quite keep up with the amount of energy that it consumes. So maybe actually if that was free flying for 2, out there where it's getting 24-hour sun, maybe that would actually be solved. But that's another issue. And then the big one probably is the heat shield. Is not designed for lunar reentry.
Because you're coming in faster.
Coming in way faster.
Yeah. How long of a trip is it?
I mean, you can do that trip in like a week, basically. But it, more or less 10 days is kind of more normal.
I always forget how far away the moon really is.
Yeah.
Like I just think like once you're in space, it's like a couple hours, you're there.
It's far. It's very far. I think all those things could be solved. And as a matter of fact, one of the big things, like if you wanted to get into lunar orbit right now, there's no way, like you have to do a pretty significant burn at the moon to slow down to get into lunar orbit, of at least like 400 meters per second. Right now, the Dragon capsule doesn't have enough, like propellant to do its own, lunar. So if you wanted to get into lunar orbit, you couldn't. You could maybe do a flyby. But they actually did recently make a little thing where it's like thrusters in the trunk with extra propellant, so they can reboost the International Space Station using Dragon. So they made a boost kit. So if they made a full size boost kit that filled the trunk and made that a bigger trunk and made that a service module. But I think the biggest thing that keeps Dragon from flying around the moon is the vehicle it's riding. Falcon 9 cannot launch it to the moon. Falcon Heavy could launch it to the moon on just a lunar flyby, but it's not human rated. Yeah. Falcon Heavy is not rated for humans.
I mean, am I wrong that, like you're saying, you could make some changes to it and get it ready, and it's possible, but of course, every time you're making changes to it, you're going to have to kind of recertify or like make sure that,
and it gets heavier, a lot of these changes make it heavier. Now Falcon Heavy might not be able to do these missions that, they compound.
There's lots of reasons is the answer.
There's a lot of reasons. There's a lot of reasons. And this is actually, that's the video, we're probably going to soon talk about like what's next for us, but that's what I'm working on right now. I'm working on a deep dive video, basically answering, Ben, your question of like, why does SLS still exist? And it goes through basically the current state of the Artemis program. The title of the video is going to be salacious of Artemis is a mess. And I think objectively it is. We have like this extremely expensive, underperforming in a sense, like, they can't even get SLS can't even get Orion into low lunar orbit. The best orbit it can do is an NRHO. Like we have an underperforming, expensive, and once a year maximum cadence with SLS and Orion. Yet we also, so I think that's kind of a mess on its own. Then we also have the other side, which is the opposite problem. We have an underfunded, overly ambitious, unproven technologies with Starship landing on the freaking moon and also Blue Origin's Blue Moon. Like we have the two opposite sides of the coin's problems. We have too expensive, too slow, too underperforming. We have too ambitious, too unproven, and too too audacious and an underfunded version of the lunar landers. And like, it's a mess. And so I'm going through all of the options of like, what could we do to make this sustainable? How do we sunset SLS? When do we sunset SLS? What else can fill those gaps? What other lunar lander options are there? What other commercial launchers are there? It's an hour and a half long.
So please tell me that you're sending this to like whoever's in charge of NASA or whatever, Space Force or whatever it's called now. And be like, hey guys, just in case you need some tips.
Well, I mean, the reality is like these are all things talked about, by a lot of people. And I think, newsflash, I think Jared Isaacman is probably being nominated this week to officially be the NASA administrator. And I know he's thinking about a lot of these exact same things. I know for sure he does not see SLS as the sustainable long-term solution for the Artemis program. I think no one thinks it should last beyond Artemis 5 or 6 besides Boeing, So what his actual plan is will be anyone's guess, but I do think a video like this could be used to, I hope that they don't take it to 100% verbatim, because it's all my own math and my own Delta V charts, which I don't know if I trust. But yeah, that's just kind of one of those things.
No, that'll be a good one.
Yeah, it just occurred to me, we haven't had we haven't had a confirmed NASA director this whole year, have we?
This whole
year.
It's
kind of been like an acting director person.
It's been Sean Duffy, who's the transport.
Yeah.
Yep. Which is crazy. This is the longest we've gone without an acting NASA administrator. And, you know, I'm a big fan of Jared Isaacman. I've seen his work, you know, up close and personal. I've spent time with him, seen how he handles missions and like literally does mission planning. I've seen how he talks to other people and treats other people. Obviously there's going to be controversy with him being so closely tied to SpaceX and to Elon and, you know, all these other things. But the reality is, honestly, I can't imagine a better fit for this generation of NASA administrators. Someone that understands the importance of NASA science. He talks about NASA science a lot, you know, a lot. He understands that, you know, like certain telescopes and projects like are more important. I think he understands like, this is what NASA should be focusing on is the science and the future tech. We shouldn't be launching and developing and maintaining and operating rockets, you know, and spacecraft. And I think he understands that. So, and I agree.
I mean, Jeff Daniels is always,
has to make.
Jeff Daniels is a good choice too, in case they're still looking. Yeah, he looked great in that movie. So, I mean,
Jack Daniels?
Jeff Daniels.
I think your channel's bleeding through, man.
It's getting a little late here, boys.
So that's to transition out of Why Don't They Just? That's what I'm working on right now, is that big long video, and I'm also working on the album. Hopefully, I'm gonna start releasing singles from it this month, and hopefully have the album out before the Astro Awards, so we can play the whole album live at Astro Awards, January 17th and 18th in Austin, Texas. Joe, are you going to come down?
Yeah, the plan, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, sweet.
Were you going to have me like do something, or?
I don't know. Well, I have to. We're still working on our schedule.
Am I working? Is this a work trip or?
I don't. All the above, baby. Everything
cowbell.
You want and more.
We need more cowbell, Joe.
I'll be the cowbell. Yeah. Oh, can I get up on stage with you guys, play cowbell?
Yes.
That would be perfect.
Just randomly off time. Just...
Yeah, like, I think I forget. Are you friends with another friend of ours, or at least of Brian's, is coming down from Dallas too? Joseph from Real Life Lore. Do you know him?
Oh, is he coming down?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Joseph.
Why don't you guys ride together? I'm making this happen. You don't even have a choice. You're like, actually, we don't get along.
It's funny because Joseph, you know, he's a part of Nebula too. So we've gotten together at several Nebula functions. I mean, this sounds braggy-ish, but they have these little like retreats that they do from time to time. So we've gotten together in Puerto Rico and the Bahamas. We've gotten together in New York and all these places. We've gotten together here in Dallas like once.
You've only
well,
seen
actually,
each
no.
other.
This last year we got together a couple of times, but before this last year we had never seen each other, and we live like in each other's backyard. Basically,
that's hilarious.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm working on. Astro Awards. We have a lot of cool guests and 2 days of speeches and panels and the award ceremony itself, and a big old fat party Saturday night, and it's a lot of fun.
Ooh.
A lot of cool people are going to be there.
Yeah, I didn't make it to last year's, but the year before I went, and if I may pitch for you, like the community that you got going on around, I guess the Astro Awards, but your channel and everything specifically, but like it's such a great community, and it just I got there and I was just like. And then we were still kind of coming out of COVID a little bit. I really felt like, God, I miss this, you know,
and in person,
in person. And I honestly, like, I'm not blowing smoke here. I came away with it like this shit is important. And I was really proud of you for cultivating that.
Thank you. And I'm proud of, I mean, we have a full team, especially my assistant and producer, Mary Liz, is like, she works on the stuff like for, you know, half the year, like full time. So it's, especially now as it's grown, like, because this year we're having like a whole exhibit center across the street where it's like we actually have Blue Moon there, like a full size replica of Blue Moon.
Oh, really?
Or, Blue Ghost.
Blue
sorry.
Ghost.
Oh my God, I did it
Wait,
again.
are you serious? Did you do it again?
Yeah, I did it again. Oh my God.
So I was like, really? Wait a minute.
I know, because I was like, Blue Moon, really?
Blue Ghost, which is Firefly's Blue Ghost. is going to be
That's
like in the exhibition hall. Like and we're going to have all these like artists and other, exhibition booths from other companies and stuff. So you can come see some hardware and see, talk to people at these companies, which I'm really excited about because that's the whole idea is like bring the people and the professionals together, the public and the professionals, and let fans of this stuff actually see some stuff and meet people. And yeah, that's the idea is like get everyone excited about it and get them in person to hang out. So
cool.
yeah, that's what I'm working on. What do you, Joe,
Joe, yeah.
Joe,
Tell us. Hit us with the Big Daddy.
Well, okay, so what's funny is like you just talked about what you're working on. I am now for the first time in years not working on something. It's actually kind of funny. I had a call with my CPA a couple months ago, and he was like, "So, do you have any big projects that you're planning on for the next year that you'll be spending or making money on or anything?" And I was like, "No." For the first time in a long time, I really don't. Now, this has been a crazy year. So within like a month of each other, we launched a book, which was supposed to have come out at the end of last year. We climbed to the top of the F up tree and hit every branch on the way down on our launch of that. But I mean, some of it was out of our control. Some of it was stuff that I know now that I didn't know before, but but that finally came out in November, just in time for, the holidays and stuff. But, okay. The biggest mistake that I made was that, we did a Black Friday thing last year. We had it like 99% of the way there. And I was like, we'll definitely have this done by Christmas. We were totally wrong about that. And so a lot of people pre-ordered it. They didn't have it under their tree at Christmas. I had a ton of egg on my face and I felt terrible about it. So I was like, all right, look, when these pre-orders come in, I'm going to sign all of them. The problem is, whereas it would have just been like, cause we're doing it through Amazon. Whereas it would have been we'll just ship it to them when it's printed. Now it has to ship to me.
Yeah.
And I've got to sign it and then ship it to them. So right there, it's extra time, right?
Whoa, yeah.
So by trying to undo my last mistake, I made a bigger mistake.
Wait, you can't make it where like, all the things, the pre-order ones, and you ship it all to you, and then you ship it back to Amazon for fulfillment, like, or is that not a thing?
That's what he's saying.
Yeah, I don't think that's a thing.
He's saying he's shipping each one out to the customer.
Yeah, we had to ship each one out individual
from wherever, from your house or whatever.
Yeah.
Or wherever they are. Yeah, someplace.
Yeah. So then, because we decided to do that, it became now I have to order like 800 or 900 books.
Okay.
And have them shipped to my house. So
is it not just the cover? Is it not just like a paper insert kind of thing, or is it an actual physical book that you're signing?
The actual physical book.
Oh wow, yeah, that's a lot.
So you're saying like I could have just signed a piece of paper and then it would go back and they would just insert it into the book or something?
Yeah, or like the wraparound cover part.
Whatever they call it.
If it was a hard cover.
We don't have a cover on the hardback. It's just a hard cover.
I've just seen John Green do this because he just came out with that book about tuberculosis or whatever, and he was he had to sign 10,000 of them, and so every day he'd be like, "Here I am," doing it, and he just had like, they were like the little cover of it, and he was just signing them, and then I assume they go to the publisher, and then the publisher just wraps those up and does the thing for him.
I guess, but he was working through an actual publisher, and I was doing it through
correct
Amazon. Yeah. So that might not have been an option for me, but
dang.
Well, so here's where, again, like I'm trying to make it better. I made it worse. Can you tell I'm traumatized by this whole thing?
Sounds like you need a drink.
I do actually, very much so. Anyway, so we had to order like 800 or 900 of them. And here's what would happen is we would place the order and they would be like, it's going to be about 3 weeks to ship out to you. We're like, okay. So we sit there and we wait. 3 weeks comes and goes. We don't hear anything. We go back and check on Amazon and they just cancel the order.
Oh, great.
No notification, no reason given. And we're just like, what the hell? So we did it again, had to wait 3 more weeks. And they just canceled the order. This happened like 4 times. So that's like 4 months just flying by. And what we finally figured out was in order to order 800 or 900 copies, you have to be like an enterprise account, which we were not. God. So we fixed that, and then we're like, you know what? Just order them 100 at a time just to be safe.
Yeah.
So anyway, that took forever to finally get the pre-orders out. I refused to launch the book publicly until the pre-orders got their orders in, and then there was a lot of mix-ups in the lists of what. Anyway,
Dude,
as I said, every branch on the way down, we found a new way. We found new and innovative ways of screwing up.
Oh no.
So anyway, but that finally got out.
Congrats on that. But you also had something else that you've been working on You had 2 huge projects coming to an end within.
I think you need a year sabbatical in Europe, and we just usually come out here and hang out.
Yeah. And
what's your other thing?
The other thing was the documentary Oldest and Newest Places in the World. And I'm still getting used to calling it a film or a documentary, not a video, because it started off as like just a big YouTube video I was going to do. For anybody who doesn't know, I guess I'll go into the spiel. It's I traveled to the oldest and newest rock formations on planet Earth. And the oldest one is this place called the Acosta Gneiss Complex. It's in far North Canada. So we flew to Yellowknife. If you know where Yellowknife is, you can look it up on a map. But it was there. We had to fly on a float plane and land in a lake, which I'd never done before.
Hell yeah.
Amazing.
I remember that once, yeah.
Yeah, and we just happened to... Okay, well, first of all, it took 2 years to even do it, because in 2023, when we were going to go out, there were wildfires all the way across Canada, and Yellowknife literally got evacuated. Like, there was a wildfire threatening the entire town of Yellowknife at the time that we were supposed to go out there. So when 2024 came around, we started like replanning it again. I got in touch with this person who put me in touch with that person, who put me in touch with that person, and I wound up talking to this guy named Jesse Remink. I keep saying his name wrong. But he runs a podcast. It's called the Planet Geo podcast. And he works at Penn State. He's a geologist, and he's mapped this area multiple times. And it just so turned out he was going out in 2024 in June with a team from the Smithsonian, that they were going to go out there and do some tests and stuff. So got on a few Zoom calls with them. They invited us out, and we got to go out and like have these professional geologists from the Smithsonian like walk us around this rock complex that's 4.02 billion years old.
Wow.
It's the oldest confirmed rock formation on the planet.
Wow.
And they carbon date that? Is that how they do that?
It's uranium lead dating.
Oh, okay. But
carbon
same kind of idea.
disintegrates way before that. So,
and this is
on those time scales.
How old is Earth? It's like
4.5.
Yeah, I mean,
wow.
it's 4. It's getting close.
Wow.
Well, and the thing that's fascinating, I mean, I've had this idea for a long time. There was something about it that drove me to keep wanting to do it. Because I fell from pretty high up on an F-up tree on that one too. It was kind of a pattern of mine. But I don't know, it's the time scales of it all. You know, like we had this really philosophical conversation with Jesse about like, you know, what does 4 billion years mean? Like, how do you even process that number?
Mm-hmm.
And there was a moment in our interview where we weren't on the rocks, we were on some other rocks. And first of all, he was like, yeah, these rocks right here, they're like 3.6, 3.7 billion years old, the old stuff over there. And I was like, God, that's still pretty old. and he was like, yeah, he was like, no, he said, there's maybe 10 places on planet Earth that are as old as what you're sitting on right now.
Weird.
Wow. And but yeah, he was talking about they call it a banded gneiss. Gneiss is like Gneiss. It's a type of granite, basically. It's got bands in it. But he was like showing on the rock that we were sitting on, he was like, so like you got this dark layer right here and this light layer right here. So this light layer is like 3.6 billion years old, and this one right below it is 3.8 billion years old. That's 200 million years of difference between those two rocks just sitting next to each other. Wow. And I was like, wait, hold on. And I literally stopped him. I was like, and I had him like rephrase what he just said. And I was like, 200 million years, that gap, that's longer than before. That's before the dinosaurs.
Oh my God.
Right.
And he was like, oh yeah, that's well before the dinosaurs. And in that tiny little, like just smashed up right there, just in that little gap. Like it's nothing. Like you would just see that and not think anything of it.
Yeah.
But that's when you process those timescales, it's like, that's insane.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing, I talk about it in the film, but something like 90% of the Earth's crust has been recycled. throughout its
Yeah.
history because of plate tectonics and stuff.
Mhm.
So there's only a handful of little places called cratons, which the Canadian Shield is a craton, that are Archean is what they call it, but they come from that first era of they were like the first rocks that
Mhm.
sort of came up to the surface and cooled. And so I get into the science of it all because it all kind of comes back to buoyancy.
Mhm.
Because it was the most buoyant rock. It floated to the top
Yep.
and cooled, and then it created this like root that came down and stabilized it. So while all the rest of the continent's being subducted and recycled and everything, this one piece just kind of stays there, and it gets folded and metamorphosed over years and whatnot. But anyway, so I learned a whole lot about just the history of the planet and geology and stuff.
Wow.
But then, so that was the Canadian part of it, and then we went to Hawaii, the Big Island, for the newest place in the world, which the Hawaiian, the Big Island of Hawaii is like 500,000 years old. Like it barely predates our species.
Wow.
But we got to go to Kilauea, talk to like 4 different geologists there about how the volcano works and everything. And again, it goes back to buoyancy. There was this one geologist named Trisha who she studies the gases. So like she drives around the volcano and like monitors the gas output from it. And I was kind of like me dummy here. I was like, so what's important about gases? Is it just like, is it the toxicity? Do you learn something about the volcano by, studying the gases? And she was like, well, gases are what make volcanoes work because it's saturated into the rock, and that makes it more buoyant. And that it was like, if you push a basketball to the bottom of a pool and let it go, it will explode out the top of the pool. Same idea.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this whole planet works on buoyancy, basically.
Yeah. I hadn't even really thought about that.
I didn't either.
So how do we actually watch the documentary?
It's on Nebula right now. We're working out where it might go after that, but
it is up now.
It's up now. Yeah, it went out Friday. It came out Friday. Yeah.
Oh, it came out on Friday. Well,
I know it feels like it's been a month already, but yeah, it just came out on Friday.
I feel like I need a subscription to Nebula. I have all my favorite people are on there.
I'm on there now.
Yeah, Tim's on there now.
Oh, look at you. Good for you.
Yeah, finally. Yeah. Oh, it took me like 3 years.
They bore you down.
Well, I've wanted to. Especially I've wanted to like diversify. As like for me, like as YouTube becomes more like algorithm and slop, like to me, Nebula is the exact opposite of that. It's like curated and hand chosen, handcrafted.
Yeah.
How much does Nebula cost? Because I think I've only ever, from like one of your videos, Joe, or I'm a huge fan of Devin over at Legal Eagle.
Yeah.
I click on those all the
Isn't
time.
it like $3 a month or something? Like it's like really cheap.
Actually, I think it's down to like $250 a month with their current like.
This is not a Nebula ad, by the way, but we do.
No, it's not. But I mean,
Nebula.tv.
But for real though, I mean, like as a streaming service goes,
yeah, it's dirt cheap.
I wonder if there's stuff my kids could like on there. What's crazy about streaming services is we're about ready to cancel Disney. Like it sucks. Like I'm shocked at how expensive. And it's so silly because of think about all the artists and the work that goes into how many amazing films you have available at your fingertips.
Right.
But like the company is screwing people out. It's just like it sucks now. I'm like, that's not worth it, Yeah, it looked like $6 a month. Is that what it is? 3 days free, then 6 days. I don't know. Sometimes because
like
of where I live.
Without any deals or whatever, I think.
Yeah, go click on one of Joe's videos where he talks about Nebula and sign up. Or I have one too. I think it's nebula.com.
No, Tim, not for you.
/everydayastronaut. But Joe deserves it more because he's had it for 50 years.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can get like the sign-up deals.
I've got this whole thing on it. Just to like to kind of wrap up on that documentary, like I don't know. I don't praise myself very easily or often, but like this thing came together in the last 6 months or so. The editors that worked on it are phenomenal, and it just kind of kept getting better and better and better. And my producer and I were just looking at it, and we're like, this turned into something really special somehow, and it really is like I'm immensely proud of how it came out.
Well, even the trailer, I watched the trailer and I was like, I watched the first like couple seconds. And I was like, oh, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, and it just kept. I'm like, this is awesome. Like
this is legit. Yeah, I know. Yeah,
very legit. And like, just I already liked the tone of it right away. Like. It just immediately was like, yep, this is absolutely the type of thing that I will watch.
Not like your regular videos. I don't watch those.
Exactly. No, so here's another funny thing. So there's a guy in Toronto. I'm sorry, Toronto, if I'm going to be local. He's a key art film poster guy, right? And I've worked with him on film projects before. He did like pitch decks and whatnot. Anyway, I came to him to put something together for this, and I mean, he just crushed it. And it was amazing because like once you had that poster art, like everything, like I could tell even on Nebula, like the people at Nebula suddenly were like, oh, we have to really promote this. We have to like, you know, put it front and center because like suddenly it just became so real.
Yeah.
It became like a legit film because of that art,
cool.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is, oldest.
And right now there's 3 interviews on there right now. I think there's 7 total that are eventually going to go on there.
That's so cool.
But
there's a trailer. Oh, is this your video? I saw this pop up.
Yeah, that's kind of intermixed with my YouTube videos, but yeah.
Yeah, the South Pole. The bug video was crazy. I just watched that one the other day.
Yeah,
I've got that on my queue. I have not had time to watch a lot of videos in the last couple of weeks, but that's one that's in my queue because I have been really curious about that actually.
It's fun. I mean, I guess I just live somewhere without bugs because I didn't like. I've never seen a firefly in my life, so I'm like, I don't know.
Oh, really? I talk about that specifically in the video.
Yeah, I know. I was like, oh, I guess I didn't, you know, for me being from Arizona, I'm like, please get rid of the damn bugs. Like these things are, yeah. I remember one year, so I grew up as a skater and we had not to get off on this tangent about bugs, but we had this year of like the cicada, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And what is it, every 17 years or something?
Something like that. There's different ones.
Yeah,
like
I think there's one that's 7 and one that's 17.
Dude, this fascinates me. Like this thing lives its whole life underground and then just comes out to die, basically. Literally, it's alive for 99% of its life underground, like eating on roots of plants. But I remember being a skater kid.
It's the world's biggest orgy, and then it just dies.
Yeah, exactly. And then 17 years later, it goes again. Being out at a skate park, going around, and then just one day, all of a sudden, it was like you couldn't skate down the thing without just being pelted.
Yeah.
Like, what on earth is happening?
And probably crushing them and stuff.
Like this is in Revelation somewhere. Like I forgot the chapter. Like there's
I know what they're
something
talking
here.
about. Yeah.
The locusts, right?
Yep, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So will this always be on Nebula, Joe, or will it be? You said you're gonna I think you got invited, or South by Southwest.
Oh no, we're not. I mean, there is one festival we're gonna play in Boulder in February. The one of the editors is a part of that festival, but we're kind of gonna just see where it goes. I mean, the plan was always to release it to YouTube at some point. Again, like in the last few months, the problem is we made too good of a film, and now like there's more opportunities for it. So we're trying to like, you know, we want to give it all the oxygen that we can to do what it could do. So anyway, yeah,
cool.
it's well, I don't. It's still in flux. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah,
that's so cool.
Yeah,
congrats,
awesome,
man. That's
I'm
really
so
exciting.
clear.
I
can't wait to see it.
For years.
Yeah, 4 years we worked on it.
Oh my god!
I'm gonna have to subscribe just for this. All right.
There you go.
I've actually I got a lot of comments on the videos where I promoted it, where it's like, well, now I got to sign up for Nebula.
Yeah.
I've been avoiding it for years, but now I'm
canceling Disney, going to Nebula for Joe. That's it. There's the answer.
That's the
Screw
future.
you, Bob Iger, or whatever his name is, the Disney guy, Mickey Mouse.
It's Bob Iger.
Well, besides getting mad at Mickey Mouse, what have you been working on, Ben? Besides living
living the dream, man.
Yeah.
You know, still doing. I think it's a new year, new channel. It's my motto. Every time we get together, I've got a new one going. I shut down my AI podcast fairly recently. That was a thing because I was basically getting shit for it. But you know, it was annoying.
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
Well, it was frustrating because I mean, and you know, Joe, I had a real writer, and like we did actual real content. We just had a better oven for making the bread. At the end of the day, we used AI to make my voice and to you know, put the music in and do those things. Everything else was 100% human based. Right. And so it was frustrating that we started to get all this heat for it. And I'm like, fine, screw it. Like, it's not going anywhere. Like, it's not taking off. Like, I'm over it, you know?
Right.
Can I just like tag what I had said a second ago on something that's kind of
Yeah.
on what you just said? So like I said, we had this designer make this amazing poster and everything, paid him handsomely for it. He's worth it. But like, this was one of those weird surreal moments where it was on that day that like some old AI thumbnail of mine caught everyone's ire, and the people were blowing up and calling me a thief that I'm stealing from artists and stuff like that, while I am on a Zoom call with a guy that I'm paying $3,000
Yeah.
for.
Yeah.
I'm seeing these things come up calling me an art thief, and I'm just like, okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. I just...
No. So I canceled that. Still doing the reaction videos and all that. Those seem to be well. People like them. It's fun. It's actually like painful. Like, it is painful to watch how stupid people are on the internet sometimes. I tell you, you know, and it's like watching my old videos. I feel like, oh God, who is, but it's bad. So my new thing that I'm super proud of and super happy with, and you guys will fully get this, and I'll put it on the screen here, is my new channel called The Cocktail Dad. And this is me teaching dads how to make cocktails at home
for their
kids. For the kids, yeah, to deal with the fucking nonsense. But you know, we talked about the thumbnails. Like, every thumbnail is just me holding a thing and some text, and that's it. I'm trying to keep it like intentionally plain. You know, I don't use graphics in the videos. I don't go, it's not super fancy. The idea is you're hanging out in my kitchen and I'm just showing you how to make this drink. That's it. And
no, I for real think that's where things are about to go.
Yeah.
Is more simple stuff like that. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. And even the thumbnails, like I like the idea of the thumbnail because it's, it, you know, tees up the video, kind of whatever, but it's basically just a frame from the video always, you know, maybe I, you know, blurred something out or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. But it's literally like whatever you're seeing in the thumbnail will be in the video for sure. There's no sort of imagination that went into it. And it's, I mean, I feel like it's one of those things where, you know, my main channel, I guess, or my former main channel, was an accident. You know, I was never into cars. I was never into EVs. I never gave a shit about any of that. It's just, I had one because I thought they were cool. And I miraculously could afford one time back when it was either a $40,000 Nissan Leaf or a $50,000 used Tesla. And I went for the Tesla. And then that became like who I was, I guess, on the internet. Right. It's like, I brought my background as a data guy to that world, and it went well, but it was never my intention. I never set out to be a content creator. And the subject itself, I was like, I don't know, this is cool. Like, whatever, let's keep doing that. And then over the years, I, you know, got far like less and less interested in it. You know what I mean? And you could just see sort of, first off, it just in my content, but also just in general, the world. Like, remember when like a new EV would come out? It didn't matter who made it or whatever, but it was like major headline news. Now, who gives a shit? It's just every other car is, I mean, it's boring, you know, let's be real.
Cancel Ford Lightning.
Yeah. I mean, there are some
already
that
retiring them.
Yeah.
There are some that are interesting or have some significance. Like, I think the VW Buzz, that was cool.
Right.
Like, this is right. Or my favorite EV of the past year, by far, the Hummer EV. Holy shit, this is amazing. Yeah. I don't live in Texas, so, you know, I can't.
Drive that through the streets of Madrid.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But oh my God. So like, there are some.
Wait, but can I tell you guys about my friend? Okay, so my friend got this letter in the mail like this summer. Basically, he was looking for a new truck. Ford dealership sent him a thing being like, "Hey, as a Ford loyalty owner, blah blah, we have a special deal on the Ford Lightning for you." And he's like, okay, you know, and like I've been wanting to hit a light. His driving habits, everything about his life, he would save so much money with a Ford Lightning. It's like the perfect truck for him compared to his old like Silverado or his, I guess, old F-150 he was driving. And I'm like, dude, you would literally save money even if it's like $500 a month payments. Like, just you'll save money in gas because he's spending that much in gas. He gets this thing. It says $193 a month for a brand new Ford Lightning. Now, it was standard range. And the crazy thing is Ford came in and installed a free charger that he keeps. He got $193 a month for like 12,000 miles. which
Great.
is like probably just enough for him. And like all this stuff, $193 a month. That's cheaper. That's a $64,000 truck with like
Wow.
nice features.
Yeah.
That's cheaper than like buying trying to lease a Chevy Aveo or something. You know what I mean? Like there isn't a cheaper lease
Why
option.
are they losing money on this again?
It's a cable
Crazy.
bill. I mean, it's a cell phone bill is what it
That's
is.
crazy.
Yeah.
So he loves it. He loves it. And
Dude.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, at that price,
I think the Lightning is great, and hopefully, what this means for the future is then they'll be even cheaper. I mean, I know one of my neighbors in San Diego bought one before we left, and it was literally like under 40,000, like $37,000, and it had like 1,200 miles on it because the guy bought it and then like didn't like it or something. I forget why, but he was getting rid of it, and he was just like, "This is the greatest truck I've ever owned in my life, and I've only ever owned Ford trucks." And he's like, "I can't believe how." I mean, his mind was blown. Yeah. Hopefully, it makes them cheaper in the future. I guess because they still have to provide parts and service for at least 10 years. I think is like the law. I think. I mean, who knows if laws matter anymore?
lawless land.
But yeah, so Cocktail Dad. That's the whole new thing now. I've had the difference. Like what I was getting at was the original thing was just sort of an accident, right? It was like I just became the Tesla guy, and then I was the EV guy, and then I'm just bored of everything, and then. and then this was like, no, I am so passionate about this, and I created it. And for the first 2 months, nobody cared. There were like crickets. And then YouTube just blessed me one day. And then in the past month, I've got like 9,000 new subscribers this past month, out of nowhere. And it's like, poof. And so, it's such a great, there's not a better feeling when like something that you created is received well in like, find success. It's like that's so that's all I'm focused on now, really. I mean, I still do the reaction videos, and it's kind of fun doing the EV stuff. Although I don't really review cars anymore. But yeah, so it's all Cocktail Dad stuff, just keeping it simple. And it's funny because I'm looking at it like, I can't wait. I don't know, maybe Astro Awards 2024, we'll have a bar set up.
2024, we're going in the past.
2034. We're going backwards.
We're going back to the past. Yeah.
He's
What's
still
that
running
thing?
2023 on his checks when he
That'd be
What's that
sick.
thing?
checks.
You can be
what do we want? A time machine. When do we want it? It's irrelevant.
That's funny.
No.
Dang, guys. Oh, that's fun. I'm really glad that we could all get together still, and it's a fun time. We're all in crazy places in our lives. I feel like it's wild. It's exciting stuff.
I was thinking earlier it would be funny since was it the last 3 years we've only done this once a year? Maybe has it been 3 years now? I just thought it'd be funny if like people were looking through the Ludicrous Future, timeline, and not knowing that the last few are like years apart, and it's like, man, these guys are accelerated aging so bad. Like, right at the end there,
they
man.
just have it on repeat, and they're like, "What the? How long have I been gone?
Yeah, what happened to these guys?
How long have I been watching this? Jeez, look at
Fall
them.
into a radiation pit or something?
Yeah, darn right.
We need that extra shielding."
We touched the elephant's foot.
Yep. Well, guys, it was awesome. I'm really glad that we could do this, and hopefully we'll actually all be able to get together at some point. Hopefully, I'll hopefully see Joe in like a month. So, haha.
Yeah.
Ben.
Yeah.
Well, we'll zoom you in.
Come to California next summer. I'll be back, so we'll have some fun.
All right.
Well, even though we don't see each other very often, I love you guys.
Yeah,
and
love you guys too.
For anybody watching, we do text all the time. We stay in touch. We're not total,
We're not strangers.
No, yeah, it's great.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay,
yeah.
Well, and for everyone else watching, we'll see you guys in our ludicrous
next
future.
year.